Alrighty, Lee. I think we've got a 1.
Oh,
We've got a 2.
2.
And we've got an all right.
Oh, wait. Oh, wrong way. That away. Let's see.
Welcome back to a last-minute put-together TrutherCast, home of the TrutherCast, and we are here to hopefully take your truth order. If you are not familiar with the show, we are attempting to not just be two more dudes complaining on the old internet like a Mr. Tim Pool, right?
It's on the edge of complaining, I guess.
Well, you know, like we got a shtick here, folks, and that is called to build a better news feed. So, if you are new here, most definitely keep in mind that you should be going over to the TrutherCast.com. Link is in the description box down below, or you can just Google search TrutherCast because I believe I've done a okay job at doing the SEO magical Google box thing. But you can go over there and you can find the recommended alt news creators list and start building yourself a better news feed, because we're going to go through last week's, informational news tidbits of the alternate news kind of, realm, things that, the mainstream, lamestream media might not have covered. So they lied to you through obfuscation, or they just completely lied to you about. Now, we're like, coming out of the new year holiday season, so it's maybe not like, the craziest versions out there yet, but we do have a crazy, set of New Year's Day with all those crazy events that happened. But there's a lot of false flag conspiracy theories spinning around it.
Oh, yeah. A whole lot.
One of them that sounded really interesting and believable seems like total BS, because the guy that came out with the email thing on the Paul, what is his name, Ryan? Is it Paul Ryan? No. Ryan something podcast, but now that guy's been disproven.
Oh, Sean Ryan?
Sean Ryan.
Yeah.
So he had a guy on that showed an email, but now that guy has been called out for previously faking emails to make some kind of announcement thing in the past.
Oh, interesting.
So that email thing about the, Trump Tower Cybertruck firecracker bomb blower upper seems like BS. But we're going to break that all down, folks.
Either way, it was weak.
If you are a regular here to the TrutherCast, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you very much for joining the live chat feed, because when you're in the live chat, you can hang out with us and just talk shit, I would like to know, what are your highlights from last week? What do you think that needs more awareness around here? Because we very much believe that with awareness comes realization. And hopefully we've awared that we've made our microphones better so that we can realize you can hear it better.
And it let me make a comment this week. Yeah, off to a good start. So hopefully somebody let us know that the audio is sounding good this week. because we worked very hard on it. Very, very hard. It was endless amounts of hours, days on end, so many Red Bulls, just for you guys. Here we are.
Just for you guys. That definitely Rumble might be a little bit clunky, but we got to support all tech somehow, man, because we tried streaming to YouTube last week, and it immediately, the first time ever, was flagged, and it's currently on suspension. So.
I don't know if that's a record, but if it is, we'll take it.
First episode, bro. We held off.
One and done.
We held up streaming for 2 years on YouTube because I just knew it was gonna get automatically like, nah, bro, they gonna let nothing we say on there, bro.
Oops. That just shows how different Rumble is from YouTube and why we got to support them, even though they're still a little clunky.
Yeah, which
just
also so I made a post on the X. I'm at Mastash. If you got an X account, if you don't, make an X account. Go follow me on the X. It's gonna be a great feed. Help you make a great feed. I made a post. I was like, yeah, that's a great reminder. Here's the screenshot of YouTube. Great reminder that X and Rumble are the main places for like free speech and logical allowed of thinking.
Yeah, who would have thought? You know.
So we're streaming on X too. So what's up, Xers? If you happen to tune in, drop a comment down below in the live chat or a comment on the replay. But you got to remind people that this show is sponsored by me, Scott, your new tech guy. So make sure to click on signup.toleratetech down below because that would help us keep the lights on. And it also help you get a like-minded, alt newsy kind of conspiracy theory, kind of like libertarian to the righty, used to be a lefty, kind of guy, to be your personal tech guy. I'll help you out with your computer's security, with the performance, manage the updates kind of thing. And generally, take away all the frustrations for you. Help you, remotely if you're not in the area or if you just don't need to come out for like that kind of problem. Or if you're in the area, you can come on into the shop, say hi. I love seeing humans in real life, that real life interconnection thing. That's nice, right?
Yeah, you can check a vibe per se.
Yeah, so come on by, hit the signup.toleratetech.com and check that vibe. Because, today's sponsored by, me, Scott, your local tech guy if you're in the Rockford area, or your remote tech guy if you're not. But get a like-minded tech guy and stop getting frustrated at that computer. And it's a pretty good setup, even if you're, kind of techie. I'll help you out with over-your-head stuff. And then also, this is something that I actually put together for me on my computer, so I didn't have to worry about the damn thing all the time and make sure it's updated or not updated. So now I have that all managed by software. And then, I can help you out with some other things when you need it. Or help optimize that gaming machine, And
would you so dearly share the show to not be a thy ho? We had to get off Mr. T this week. But yes, inspired by Mr. Andy Frisella, the great, the almighty. Just kidding. We don't gotta bring shade upon God and worship false idols. Oh, say almighty, oh God. Oh God. See the irony there? But yeah. He's the almighty ahead of everybody on calling out what's going to happen in the near future and like the political, the crazy conspiracy world for the most part. Yep. He's the king of that pretty much, other than going to Dukes with us. Nobody else. That's why you come here.
Oh, shoot. We got Wilkinson in the live chat. What's up? Thanks for showing back. But she is letting us know the audio is a little wonky.
Wah, wah.
What kind of wonky
is it not echoey though? Have we figured out is there zero echo at least?
Yeah, so we gotta start. We were here. We're trying to be here. We're trying to be here, but right now we might be here.
We might have dropped a couple.
Do we need to turn up the game?
We took 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, right.
Or did we take 1 step forward and 2 steps back? We will find out once we figure out exactly what our wonkiness
type of wonkiness
is.
We need more analytical details in order to tune it back. Oh, yeah, see, mine did look a little wonky, but Dan's was okay. That's what I was seeing on the back end. Shoot, man.
Maybe you just got to turn yours down a little bit still. Maybe the
orange
is
down.
No, I meant on like where you adjust it in the program. Maybe just
What's
under.
up, Trolley? Happy
Maybe
anniversary.
just under the orange would be the perfect level.
Under the orange? I
Like-
mean,
like
like if
m-
I talk like this off to the side, yeah, like that. Or is it still too loud? Is it too loud or too wonky? Is it crispy? Is it burnt?
Is it
Is it freaking out?
is it lagging?
Or is it laggy or cutting out? But yeah, happy anniversary to the troll. The troll loves that the audio is bad every single show. Hot damn game, man. I would like to see you get the audio right with more than one person in the room on a podcast, sir.
But yeah, wow, look at that. Time flies. It feels like we did a January 6th remembrance not that long ago, and here we are again.
Yeah, right?
And yep, Ashley Babbitt Remembrance Day. Our R.I.P. May she still be resting in peace, and hopefully her family is been not too mentally distressed over what had happened and all the bull crap. Man, I don't like these real notes, man. I don't like it.
Don't like the who?
Don't like when I gotta be real and serious.
Yeah.
Mostly, maybe if that's why we do it, so then we don't have to lose any more Ashley Babbitts over some dumb crap that the far left side wants to try to pull off their regime. And that's why we're doing it. So hopefully no more Ashley Babbitts and just more Lauren Boeberts keep coming out of the weeds and just punching commies in the face with good old American patriot rhetoric. That is one thing that happened today. Lauren Boebert, what was it? She passed a bill, you were saying? Was it a bill? A new law? A bill becomes a law.
We got a proposed
Is
bill
it bill or law?
that will be
The
going
bill.
over in just a
How
moment.
far,
So
how
New
far
law.
down the road is
I
it?
think what
A bill
Dan was
becomes
saying,
good.
we're gonna propose
Is
this
it
time to switch
bill
over
or
to the
law?
locals here.
That
That will be
a
going
bill.
over
How
in just a
far,
moment.
how
So
far
locals
down the road is
need
it?
my
A
bill
bill becomes
good.
good.
Is
Is
it
it
time to switch
bill
over
or
to the locals?
Oh, it almost does sound a little quiet, at least through there.
I think the volume was low.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Are we too quiet or can you hear everything totally fine? We still need to get the update of what kind of wonky.
This guy's always wild.
Yeah,
When-
I think
when
you
I
got that
think-
mixed up, Trolley. She doesn't jerk dudes in public. She gets groped by them. That was the scandal of Miss Lowen Boebert. Yeah. And then,
And that's
by the
just
way,
haters hating.
to clear the
Haters
record,
be hating.
MAGA actually didn't storm the Capitol. Antifa BLM actually stormed the Capitol, and then MAGA kind of walked in behind them. So, small clarification.
Yeah. And nobody bashed their way in. They were let in.
Okay, audio seems fine now. Okay, maybe it was just being like load up
Bet.
wonky.
Hey, welcome to the show, Jake, brother.
What up, Jake?
The
Man, thanks for
Jace, yep.
tuning into the show. All right, we're gonna switch over. Yeah, this is a weird
Hell
one that just came
yeah.
in today. Dana White
Good
joined the
seeing
board
you,
of Meta.
Jake. Whoa, the board of Meta. Oh, so he's gonna flex his board owner. How much is he into it? Is he like a small partner? Or is he?
So he joined the board of directors.
Yeah.
That's all
well,
I know so far. This
well,
was just like a quick last
that
minute
that
one. I
means
threw
he
up
had to
on
have
there.
invested so much, right? So I wonder how much of the company he has a stake in. That how much pull is.
So I don't know
does
if
he
you
have?
have to invest in order to be one, but why would you be a board of
I
directors
think
if you
nor-
have
no,
not
right, that's the
invested?
normal course of
Right.
how it goes.
You've got
you
some
put
kind of
you
a-
put a bunch of money in the company,
Yeah.
you get a little bit more say than say Tom and Joe that have their $100 invested in the company. You have $100 million. They're obviously gonna have to listen to what you say because your money is a little at stake.
But I don't remember if it's a rule because, like, if Elon was
Right,
like,
I was saying,
I'd be
normal
on your
way to
board of
get
directors, I don't think they're gonna be like, you have to invest. They'd be like, yeah, whatever, dog, just get on the board, just get on the board.
in. Right. Like if just you on the board is advice and ideas for
Yeah.
us, yes.
But
Please.
you have to have big D. Otherwise, normal
Yeah.
is like, well, I'm gonna
Like-
need you to show some skin. I'm gonna need
are
you
you
to
gonna have an
invest,
actual
like-
vote in our decisions? Like, if you bring the ideas being on our board, great. If you don't have money at stake and having a vote, we'll figure that out.
Man,
You got to have skin in the game to be able to vote like that. Oh, which
Yeah,
is what we'll get to eventually. But did you hear? California it just went into law today, into effect, that it's illegal to ask for ID for any type of voting for any political, local, national election
That
in
makes
California.
no sense.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's illegal for anybody to even ask for ID. You have to use your ID for everything else, smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, everything, but nope, you don't have to show ID to have part in the influence, which is California's a big state, got a lot of electoral influence, and now they're just no ID, willy nilly, whoever can go in there and now sway a huge, big old bunch of electoral votes just because they, can't really vote, but they are going to because that's what Gavin Newsom has always wanted. He wants communism.
Yeah, and that's absolutely insane because also California for a very long time has kind of been known as like the canary coal mine or like the seed to like what other kind of like law gets pushed around the
Yeah.
nation and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's
They're
not the
they're the
good.
leaders in
Yeah,
the
right.
great new law.
Like that's what you'd say, but it hurts to say it.
Yeah, yeah, because like they are, but
Because they've fallen off. You know,
well,
they used to be
and,
awesome.
and
or
people
something, I don't
only
know.
look up to him as a leader because they're like the big, they're the big guy. They're like the boss of the company, per se.
Well,
Metaphorically.
I'd argue people only look to them as a leader because they used to be awesome or good or something. Like,
Oh, everybody wanted to be in California, yeah. Which is not because of the policies, it's only because of the environment. That's all California is. It's always just been the weather and the environment. Nothing to do with their policies. Because ask people if it's cheap and they like the expenses living out there. No, it's expensive as hell. I mean, yeah, that makes sense because it's the prime spot. Obviously, to not have everybody. Otherwise, everybody in the country would probably be there if it was max affordable.
well, the other one is
And
like
it's
all
great
the
weather,
dookie on the
so.
streets and the crime and the something,
Which
something, something.
hence horrible policy. If they had good policy and a good way to deal with that, there wouldn't be San Francisco wouldn't show up as just a giant poop emoji on the entire map of California.
Right.
But there's shit everywhere.
I don't know. This one isn't really
Everywhere.
like a good one to like throw up here on the podcast while we're shooting the shit, but there were some good clips out of it. And then it's a little bit of just kind of like inside internet culture baseball, but this dude Sam Hyde, who's like a comedian kind of dude, he just put out like a video that was kind of calling out the Elon Musk thing because it was, man, it's one of those I didn't think it was really worth talking too much about, so I didn't post too much shit about it.
Right. Well, I mean, as long as you got a couple
Sent me
good points.
on X. Yeah, I can try and pull that up. But he was talking about Elon changing the algorithm allegedly. So I didn't follow this one super deep, but I guess people ratioed him on something so that like they disagreed with his opinion greatly.
Yeah.
And then allegedly he got like salty pants about that and then decided he was going to change the algorithm. So it's a little bit dictatorial.
Yeah, he's getting a little lashback on that. And to coming back real quick, the videos of them smashing the windows. Yeah, that was the Antifa that Scott was talking about, but you obviously weren't listening that well and heard that. So just catching you up. And back to this.
All right, so we can check in.
Antifa
with,
broke in, then the rest of them let themselves in because the doors were open.
Check in here with a good friend of the show, the Quarterine, is the guy who made some clips here for us to make it a little bit easier on us and minify our pre-production necessities here.
I think we need to say, if China imports enough Indians, it's like diamonds. It's like nanotechnology. Indians are like nanotechnology. We have to be willing to use nuclear weapons to keep China from getting these precious Indians. That's step one. Sounds right? Because it is. It's It's subtarded.
What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I wanted to check in with a video that
To fix the American birth rate problem by turning America into India are fuckers. People are not interchangeable economic units. If they're not more than that, then that's just an extension of antinatalism. That's just nihilism. That's just people don't matter. Neil deGrasse Tyson, the universe doesn't care shit. The universe cares. That's why we're here. It's understandable why a computer guy, why an engineer would think that or would want to think that, because it would make solving problems so much easier. We have hardwired group preferences, we have genetic memory, we have culture. This is not learned stuff. It's so deeply embedded in us that it carries on for thousands of years. Thinking of people as interchangeable units, while it would be useful in a simulation or in an economic theorem, it strips them of their humanity. And by the way, it's one of the first steps towards any authoritarian dictatorship type system. It's one of the first.
Which is like most things in life, a tricky thing of balance. Like
There's
Like the
gotta
woke-
be a hierarchy of some bit.
and then the woke ideology in business, which creates the whole concept of go rogue, go broke, is what, like the over emotional vacation of employment and everything. Like
Exploited.
hire them because feelings and color race stuff, or don't fire them because of feelings, color race stuff. And yeah, they may not be great or they may not be good at all, but yeah, keep them on the team and keep giving them projects. Yeah.
Like,
And then
yeah,
that just kind of
mm,
collapses business, right?
I mean,
But
it doesn't
then-
have to be in that business. It could be in another place. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
right. And then the over, like robotic nature of capitalism that then becomes like too inhumanitarian of employment and creates what he's getting at, the totalitarianism
Yeah.
of like things and shit like that. But very true. And the biggest takeaway on this one, to sum it up, if you're into this shit, definitely go watch Sam Hyde, his whole thing. It was like 40 minutes. And it's a great intellectual snark video. So he's like dropping little snarky comedic bombs, but then it's like in a very like, hey, I'm talking serious kind of nature, right? So it's really good, but it was like 40 minutes. So go check that out. But my biggest takeaway is that he's recommending to Mr. Elon, who just recently worked very hard to get the MAGA support behind him and all of that, right? He's got to go at this whole, kind of working with America and Trump and blah, blah, blah with the Doge thing, more as, treating us like America and not Ben Shapiro's group of ideas. Like we're not just a group of ideas. We're not just the Constitution.
Right. Yeah.
It's like you got a little bit of logical, you got to have a little bit of emotional. It's a blend. Just like anything, bro. That's what they teach in marketing, sales, blah, blah, blah.
You
You got to hit them with a little bit of both. Right. But that was a good point. I definitely think, because when Elon gets a little bit too robotic, man, I think there's going to be a clapback from the people.
Yeah. Like he was getting it sounds like, because we haven't heard much of a background or story or more details to it. So hopefully he'll address it and then bring some light to the situation. See if he's just leaning a little on that side, or if there's a whole reason to why things happen the way they did. And it doesn't always have to stay that way.
Amen. Yeah. So this was like So this is like the most recent version of like, how many times did we see before they kicked Joe out of like running for president, being like completely, like old dementia weird, or not even old dementia weird, just like anti-president? Because like generally, now maybe not every president, Trump was like the best. We're biased here. We like almost everything Trump does, probably, right? Most of the time.
Right,
But
most of it. Don't like that he banned bump stocks back in the day. Look, see, don't like everything that he did.
don't like
was-
that he did
was a
Operation
complete-
Warp Speed.
That was a complete shit decision.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect in that position.
So it's pretty like, traditional and logical for a president to make a statement about something and then sit there and answer questions with the press.
Mhm.
That's kind of like the opportunity to get a little bit more of an unscripted interaction with him, maybe a little bit of insight, maybe a little bit of hope,
Which is
maybe a
what
little bit of
presidents did for decades.
verbal strength,
They
Amen,
would give
right?
they'd give their speech, and then they would have. Generally, it was more like
I don't know how good it
only
was,
the
though. I didn't pay
journalists, not
attention
like
back then.
random people. But there's back in the day, it used to be random people.
Well-
I seen one just the other day of George W. Bush. That was he gave his little speech, and then he started taking questions from people in the crowd.
Yeah. So then on top of that, just in general, for some sort of any press conference, I would imagine you sit there and answer a buttload of questions after a terrorist event, especially 3 on one day,
Right. Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Call me
the
crazy.
sheriffs that will disclose this stuff end up getting a bunch of questions at their um after their speech stuff. So how was his president? Not a question.
General
Yeah.
practice, right? So this is Mr. Joe Biden doing like what seems to be, one would say, maybe the opposite.
Oh, doing what he normally does. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, that Pepto Bismol worked really quick. Except I
Bruh.
still got a shit.
He gives his little speech thing and then it's just like doses.
Like, see ya.
And then
I
I'm
have
done
I
talking.
have a very important meeting with my chalky chip ice cream back here. It's been melting the whole time. I've got to get back to it, guys. See ya.
So like nothing really new if you're into this stuff, but like here's just the latest, and I think this is
Keep you
small
fully-
important because after Kamala runs, the news wants to just have you forget about Joe Biden, and then he proceeded to waste all of our American time being a president, and then like I can't believe that the guy's still president. I can't believe he didn't get like politely impeached. So it's like, hey, bro, just like get the F out of here. Or like fully impeached. Like you're
Can he still get
useless,
impeached
but-
since he pardoned himself?
Oh, I haven't heard if he actually did yet. You heard that?
I thought it was
I-
was it just I thought it was him and Hunter.
No.
But
To
he
this
didn't
date,
pardon
I've
himself
heard
yet.
that he still hasn't pardoned
So it's
himself.
just Hunter. Okay.
But he did start pardoning other people involved with COVID.
I wonder how many over the
Like, I think he pardoned
8,200 or 8,400 the last. time
You
it's
saw
been.
84? Yeah, the last I saw was like 8,000. I don't know how much it went further up. But I thought it was small important just to point out that this dude is still completely not being a good president. Like, God bless, man. We can't get no answers out of the guy. Like, Jiminy
No.
Christmas.
Yeah, Scott has adopted the full locks, Jake, and the shop's doing good.
Full locks?
He said he likes the new hairdo. He just hasn't seen you in a
what's the
while.
new- I've had the, yeah.
Oh, you
I got
used to have a
3 new
short on
hair
the, you used to
dyes
have a short on
today.
the side.
No, what?
That's how long it's been since he's seen you, man.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's like the same hairdo. Ask my hairstylist. The Mosque of the Terrorists is urging their members to not speak to the FBI about what they know.
I believe that would be what the young kids refer to as sus.
And I
What?
believe that's what the streets would know as snitches get stitches. But that's because they know about the crime that was committed.
Yeah. Jeez. They're just like, if any of you open your mouth, you know it's gonna be worse. Jeez, that just sounds a whole lot like some organized crime at our midst. Wow, wait, go back down to that name. Woo!
Yeah, I know, right?
Jacques Allahu Carmen.
I think it's kind of
Karum.
blasphemous
Right,
for him to
Karum.
put Allah in his name. It's too close to Allah.
Yeah.
I
But
heard
then
this.
there's all the Muhammads, and they believe Jesus was basically Muhammad back in the day. So,
I heard this regular news lady.
I mean, if you want to be the best car, we'd just have a bunch of kids named Ferrari and Lamborghini. But
I heard this regular news lady the other day reading one of the like terrorist manifesto-y things or whatever, and at the end it's like like Inshallah, and she's like reading it, and then she's like Inshallah. And I was like, oh Lord, she is not very.
Ish Allah, what
She's
does?
not very cultured. Okay, yeah, that's the Allah
Oh,
right there.
mashallah, mashallah.
So I mean, this isn't really too shocking or anything, but hey, dude, what's interesting about like the Muslim faith and like the whole question of like being like accepting of all religions here in the melting pot of America is it's difficult to rein in the extreme right, the extreme left, the extreme Muslim, the extreme Islam. Wait, no, all the Islamists are pretty extreme, but it's really difficult to rein them in, and that's the tricky part that we are in right now because apparently they're going to do some crazy terrorist attacks. And how do you stop that shit ahead of time? Well, it's building a better culture, man. It's getting more reins,
Man.
more morals and scruples around these kind of things, and they literally like time and time again, and then specifically even after this event are like, we death to America, bro. Like, so we're like, come on in and like, get our like, free taxation on your businesses and like get this free, money from the government of like free welfare, and then
You came
let's
from
help
hard
you with
place.
school,
Here's
and
boost.
like, by the way, if you want to kill us all, I guess go ahead. Like what? Like
I got two things to say. How much you want to bet? They're on that certain 3-letter agencies. They're aware of them. They're on the board.
and they were still allowed to do this. That's another like point of debate, bro.
The other thing, are they going to do anything before it's too late? Well, if we look at history, Thomas Crooks was on the radar, and all these other people were on the radar. But are they going to do anything until after it's too late?
Maybe
I don't
we should
know.
just
Hey, they didn't for that guy that got arrested. Apparently, he had weapons in a manifesto to attack AIPAC, which is the American Israel something committee, yada yada. Basically, Americans for Israel. So, guy was looking to hurt Jews, and the FBI said, "Oh no, 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 no! You haven't even done it yet. We're arresting you." So he was on their radar, obviously.
Yeah.
And then he got arrested before he did anything. Now, will it happen with this? Did it happen with any of the school shooters? Yada, yada, yada. Nope.
Nope.
It
And
almost
then-
seems like somebody's pulling the strings and, allowing things to happen. And it's like somebody in that FBI's cabinet is possibly a sneaky snake.
And then we're gonna get to it later, so that might be a little repeater down the road. But Joe Biden was handing out presidential medals of freedom, and he gave one to the guy.
That was painful to watch.
He gave one to the guy who took a photo with the second attempted assassinator of Trump. So, I mean, just because he took a photo with the guy doesn't mean like, oh, he's a horrible person.
I'll tell you
The
what
people you
did
keep.
what did happen with a horrible person on that.
We'll get
stage.
there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Got plenty to say.
Foreshadowing. Some more interesting information. So DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas announced that the New Orleans attack is being investigated as a terrorist attack by the FBI. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, right? Well, what good is that when I missed this one? I don't remember this. What good is the FBI investigating anything when you have one of our favorite friends of the show, James O'Keefe, dressing up like Osama bin Laden and crossing the border? Like what?
Oh, this is
show
this
how
is
easy
prime comedy right here.
it is to evade border security.
This video has caught a lot of attention online.
Roll some video of filmmaker James O'Keefe donning an Osama bin Laden mask and crossing the Rio Grande.
One admiring website has a nickname for him, Osama bin O'Keefe.
It's hilarious.
You feel safe?
Admiring website has a nickname for him, Osama bin O'Keefe.
Do you feel safe?
Oh, dude.
There's Osama.
Do you feel safe?
Wow, that was an actual cartel member that had just moved all those people, and he literally gets to look at people videoing him on the other side. It's almost like
Insanity,
they're
bro.
in it together. Like there's somebody they're coordinating with on the other side of that border to make sure this happens without a whole lot of
So-
backlash. That's kind of weird. I wonder if that might be the deep state that Trump talks about.
Are
You
we to
know,
believe
possibly
that-
some of these rhinos.
Are we to believe that the FBI investigating terrorism events of the first of this year here is gonna go anywhere if they've been like investigating the bad guys at the border? Like, God, it's so frustrating, bro.
I wonder if that guy's been found out yet. Who he is? The guy that remember he was bragging at the border. He's like, "Oh, you don't know who I am? You will soon find out who I am."
Oh no, they did.
Yeah.
He did something, and then they put him in jail.
Oh, wow, imagine that.
Yep.
Interesting.
I believe, if I recall correctly. Speaking of brag, the suspects in yesterday's attack, from the first, on Bourbon Street in New Orleans and the Trump Tower in Las Vegas were both serving from Fort Bragg,
And
the
you
same military base that Ryan Ruth visited over 100 times before attempting to take Donald Trump's life.
did you also
Wait.
say earlier in there that the Oklahoma City ATF building bomber was a Fort Bragg guy?
I don't believe so, but I think there was some kind of a
Yeah,
tying
he was.
together. No
He
shoot.
was. Yeah.
That's
They've all come from
ridiculous.
Fort Bragg.
Like, so this is just a coincidence?
Totally. If you ask all of them, it's totally a coincidence.
Bro, that's hard for me to get on board with that one. I really don't want to be a tinfoil hatter, dude. I don't want to be. But every time you go down the rabbit hole,
All I
I
know,
get my effing tinfoil hat out.
and if we have to go into that territory, I'd have to say it kind of makes sense. It follows the trend of the times. Like, men used to be men, and we've gotten like softer and softer and softer over the years. Because what kind of weak stuff was that with the Cybertruck? That was the weakest thing I could have thought to do as a terrorist attack. Race fuel and some fireworks in the. I've had more of a reckless possible endangerment to me and my surroundings of stuff in the back of the truck than that, like on just a lazy Sunday afternoon. Like, you're hauling it light, dude, and you're supposed to be. And that just shows how soft society is. They're like, oh, they almost took out the building with fireworks and race gas. What? Come on, you. Wow, that's just baby play. Super baby play. It's almost like he did it knowing that he's getting opted. He didn't want to harm that many innocents, even though some innocent people got hurt. But I mean, he didn't even bust the glass out of the doors that it was like 20 yards from. That's nothing, dude.
Isn't that
You
what the
seen what
theory
happened
is?
to the ATF building in the Oklahoma City bombing? That was a bomb. This was like, this guy just he stole his wife's credit card, went to the fireworks store, just went buck wild, just threw him in the back, and then they all just happened to go off at the same time. Woo!
Well, isn't that what the theory is that people were putting out there? Is he was about to blow the whistle on something, so then the deep state government, military, something that he was blowing the whistle on, was finding out, so they were about to like take him out. So then like he went to go do this for some.
Like that. That's what I was saying. Like, maybe he
Like-
figured he was being co-opted a little bit, and like what he'd been possibly programmed to do, he realized, oh wait, I'm gonna try to dull this down a little bit. But more than likely, if he was an actual criminal, it was probably just because he was dumb. Because most criminals are
Well,
dumb.
so then that's
hence
what's
them
tricky
being
too, because
criminals.
everyone's saying like, well, this dude was a Green Beret, and Green Berets wouldn't have made a like stupid bomb like that. Don't you know how to make a bomb like, you know? And it's like, I mean, like, there's stupid people in every scenario, and then maybe he's gotten, you know, like rusty since, like, or, you know, or gone a little crazy since you've known him, or since he was a good hardcore Green Beret. And then also, aren't we always bitching constantly nowadays about how they're like lowering the standards in our military and like not doing a good job at things like that? So maybe he wasn't an awesome, amazing Green Beret that knew everything. I don't know. What do you think in the comments, man? What do you think in the live
I don't
chat here?
personally know enough of them to make a judgment, but I sure would think they would know what they were doing with that. So that's why it just seems like a whole fugazi, like it's something set up just to point fingers. Because this is also a good point. What was the rhetoric on the news about it afterwards? Oh, look, this is an army guy. He's probably a MAGA supporter. Look,
Well, then
they're
it proved
doing.
he was. Then his
Yeah.
family came out and said it.
Yeah. And so they're trying to get it to look like Republicans hate Trump, just like with the Thomas Crooks. Look, registered Republican. Even his own people hate him and want to kill him. Blah 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 blah.
That's what we all thought.
They're just trying to still keep that. That's all they got at this point. You know, all the rest of them have flipped. They realize that they've been just being lied to, so they can't lie to them anymore. All they can do is try to overturn the thinking of those that are already on that side of thinking. There is no trying to fool the others. It's just trying to now make us all believe, oh, like one of us even changed sides. They believe now that he's bad. Wow, maybe I can switch back too.
Yep.
Otherwise, psychologically, there's a big barrier there. So if you knock that over, then it's much easier for your normal folk to Oh, okay, maybe I actually did get fooled into this, and I was actually right in the first place, like believing the Democrat side. Because there's plenty of people that are always right in the middle, flip flopping, which is what we want to be. Because we want to be in the middle. We want to have an equal set of things from each side that normally makes society pretty
Balance.
balanced out. Everybody's happy, but they want everything just their way, which is communism, and we want freedom. And somehow we're pretty close to the communism part.
Bro, so it's the two guys from the first of the year. So this was the Cybertruck one, and then where's this one?
That was in New Orleans, I believe.
That's the New Orleans guy. Yeah, the Jabbar guy. And then that's who Ryan Wesley is. 29 accounts? Wait, who was the one that just said like 100 times? Ryan Ruth. Which one is that? Okay, yeah, Wesley Ruth. So this was the second Trump assassinator attempter guy.
Yeah, the
And
guy,
so he
the guy with the
visited that.
SKS with the electrical tape scope on
Yeah,
it.
and then did we do the Oklahoma bombing sum up on the last show or three?
What do you mean sum up? Like
There was like a
going
it's
over
like
it.
a 1-2 minute hold on, let me explain this to you.
I know we did on one of them.
Okay, yeah, I think we did go through that one already, but so I mean, again, bro, it's hard to say reality that have come to believe it to be is not reality, but the Oklahoma bombing thing has got a whole bunch of fishy shit around it where it makes that seem like a definite false flaggy freaking Manchurian candidate interesting event.
Do you know what happened after that? Because the Oklahoma bombing went off by this supposed guy, and then Bill Clinton came in and did the whole assault weapon ban.
And then also I believe there was something that he put in that was like the setup for the Patriot Act too, almost like they're playing chess and they're putting the pieces together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like way ahead of time,
Yeah.
And then people think that's crazy, but in my humble opinion, it's simpleton people think that's crazy. Because they're like, there's no way they're planning that ahead. Like, nah, bro, you're just dumb. And that's actually what successful
Well,
people
you're
do.
focusing on surviving in this rat race.
Yeah.
Those guys have all their stuff accounted for. They don't have to worry about where the money's coming to the next day for food, anything like that. So what do you end up doing with your human brain? Oh, I have really ease, of life here. I'm going to try to sustain this. How do I do that?
Well, that's the boredom
and then-
argument. No, it's more like I am going for entire domination of everything, and it's a 20-year plan to achieve that.
I was warming into it because it starts
For
light.
sure, for
You
sure.
start picking, then you find, and then you start
At minimum.
finding out all these people that have kind of what I want are super world villains, kind of in a way. Well, if that's how I get there, I guess I might as well. You can't beat them, join them, and then they get another one. They get another one. So it might be part of the whole, rich or money's the root of all evil, but no, it's how you use it because
Mr. J
they
over
could
here.
do good stuff with it, but they do dominance.
Mr. J over here says, to be fair, in theory, he could have made a hell of an explosive with all that flash powder racing fuel and the Tesla battery. However, he was a moron or on purpose, just kind of made it be barely explosive. And then also it was pretty set up for failure to have it blow up in a iron box.
Which is why,
That's bulletproof from the outside. So maybe
well,
it could have been blown up from
basically
the
he put
inside,
the
but
cover over the trunk of the Cybertruck.
He
and-
also
and-
closed it?
I'm pretty darn sure, yeah.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
barely did anything.
Yeah.
Because if you see the video,
It was
man,
very,
it made a blow up, but it didn't really
yeah. It
harm
was
anything.
more,
went
it was
upward.
more captured, yeah, because that's the thinnest part of that whole compartment
Right.
is the lid over the top of
Right.
the trunk.
Right.
Which is why I'm getting the guy was supposed to be smart. He knew that stuff was going to happen. But a lot of people are saying the Fort Bragg is where MK Ultra project
Right.
started. So we might not understand how strong that. I mean, we've seen the Bourne series. I mean, not all of us, but so in the Bourne series, they basically portray how this guy goes through a military program, gets all hypnotized to where he becomes a super soldier. You just don't question things. We know hypnosis is real, all that
Well,
stuff.
or if you're older,
So,
it's just the Denzel Washington
we-
Manchurian Candidate. That's why we keep saying that word. 'Cause
we-
that was the movie.
Yeah, we might not know how ingrained into this dude's subconscious that was. So all his body and subconscious was doing was I have to pull off this event, or somebody might have a whole lot of blackmail on him. We don't know. So
Oh.
then he has to go. He knows he's either going to get off or he can go do this thing that's supposed to be a bad deed. But he has empathy because he's not a total piece of shit. And he's like, I don't want to hurt these people. This is not what I signed up for. Or maybe he learned stuff since then. Maybe he used to be angry, did some forgiving, forgave his mom and dad. And then he went and, had to make it look like he did this. But he's like, oh, sorry, boss. I just suck at this. And, he had to still do the act, but he did it crappily so it would not hurt anybody. He could still say, what do you mean? You told me blow up in trunk. The trunk blow up. Don't you see? Like the film,
Well,
it blew up.
okay,
I got brain damage. I got hit in the head too many times.
So you definitely got to where I was just gonna go like, wait, hold on, light bulb. But
Just-
like my version is a little less that he was still trying to like, I succeeded, master. But what if he was just fighting the programming, and so then that's why it wasn't too magnificent, right? Like maybe the idea was to have some more successful bomb, something, and then he was fighting this or something.
What I just went over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That was going exactly where I just kind of like light bulbed. I completely agree. Who knows? We can speculate all day long on this BS with that one, but And then, there's questions about like, oh, he offed himself with the Desert Eagle, and then, hey, that was just sitting at his feet. Isn't that a powerful weapon? Wouldn't that have kind of like gone farther away if he utilized that weapon? Like, shit, bro.
I mean,
You
there's
can
a
go
whole lot of
all I know is
circumstances.
that picture is one of those like two coincidental ones, but it's just like the fight photo, or like Trump down on the ground with the blood coming down where, the left is getting jealous, bro. They really want some conspiracy theories. Because I saw one this week where they're like, Kamala Harris put out this video and it was cryptic. She said that she's not going to like stand down and she's going to be the president, folks. Donald Trump's not the real president. And I was like, oh, bro. They're taking the crazy, like Trump's the president the whole 4 years during Joe Biden's thing. They're turning it. Oh man, we're going full crazy on the internet now.
I mean, they just found out all the conspiracy theories were right. So they're like, if we get on a conspiracy, we're gonna be right. And that's not all conspiracy theories end up being right.
And so just
why they're called conspiracy theories.
Just a good reminder, they still haven't cracked the kid that shot the former president. But boy, they got into that Vegas Cybertruck guy's phone real quick, man. And they gave us all the skinny on that. They had full access to everything, huh?
Yep.
And then they gave a random influencer. I don't know if she's random. I thought she was like an actual like reporter of some nature, but they gave a woman doing like an investigative news something full access to the guy's home the day after it happened. So she goes in and walks through this dude's home and like, do you notice anything that is strange in this picture?
And different.
Well, here, let me save you time. This is a laptop. And then right over here, do we get to see it? There's a different angle. Down here underneath the table is a desktop computer. So like, let's play. Oh, I gotta switch the camera. Let's play investigative detective. If you just had a guy that like which terrorist is this? The New Orleans terrorist? So this isn't even the one that's alleged Manchurian candidate. The guy that blew up the Cybertruck in front of Trump Tower and made an amazing epic photo of an Elon Musk thingy by a Trump thingy in dystopian destruction, right? It's not even that one. This is the New Orleans guy. And she goes to this guy's home and happens to find bomb-making things in a Quran. But why is the laptop there and the desktop's there? And then she's just going through and blowing all the like evidence, like
and
legitimacy. Like she's just going through this whole home.
First off, the door handle is completely out of the door, so they didn't bust in the door like an obvious fashion. And then they just leave it halfway propped in the door frame. Who would do that? It's like they were, setting a stage.
You like, and then
setting a
hypothetically,
scene.
she could have set that back up to set the scene or something, but
I don't know. It was just opening it. Man, it just,
So
maybe
this is
it's all real, but since y'all lied to us on the media for so long
I know,
after
right?
Barack Obama made propaganda legal, now we don't believe anything you say if it's real or fake. Dangerous game you have played here.
Yeah, it's called Wolf, bro. But so this is the speculative conspiratorial portion of the New Orleans person. So there's one for the Trump guy in Vegas, and then there's one for this New Orleans guy. I don't know about the New York one. Like that one didn't catch up in the internets. It was just like somebody that went off and popped off on a whole bunch of people, I believe, right?
Mm.
But three
Yeah.
in one day is pretty epic, bro.
Yeah.
But I don't
They're
understand
just
how you give somebody access to this home. That's absolutely bonkers to me, bro.
Yeah, like FBI already pulled every detail they needed out of that
You
house.
can't even say that. Like, like
Yeah.
if that's the argument, right?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No, dude, traditionally in like by the book or something,
Dude,
bro.
a
They're
bunch
going
of
through that
weird
with a fine-tooth comb for like what? Days, weeks, months. But maybe we're just idiots, bro. Because like they did that with all the Trump assassinators, right? They were in and out, baby. In and out. People got into
Yep.
that Crook's house in a week, right? That's how we knew that they didn't have no silverware and all the trash bags were taken out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were in there right after the event even.
I would imagine that if the FBI went through, they would take all the silverware and the trash bags. So, like, why was that never attributed to FBI? But I don't know, man. Over.
It's almost like they have
banana
incompetent people running this stuff.
pretty crazy.
Maybe bought out people, however you want to label it.
Man, do you remember
They
the
suck.
Do you remember the story of the guy trying to say that the moon landing was fake? I can't remember if we covered this one, but this is a good little Candace clip.
One astronaut threatens to punch me. One astronaut threatens to shoot me. And we even left a hot microphone accidentally in an astronaut's house after he assaulted me. And the camera guy, so, disoriented, he forgets to hit stop recording. So while the astronaut and his son are in their house with the door closed, we're recording the audio by wireless microphone in the back seat of the rental car in the driveway. And they say, word for word, do you want to call the CIA and have them whacked?
You want to call the CIA? Have them whacked?
So like
Oh
I
my
said,
goodness.
Yeah,
That
so like
is
I-
crazy.
So allegedly, he caught them on a hot mic being like, let's just get this guy whacked.
Yeah.
Look, we'll
Yeah,
just call the
allegedly.
CIA up and get him whacked, bro.
I mean,
If it's true, why would you say I'm going to call the CIA just because you had something to do with the moon landing? What the hell does the CIA have to do with it? Two, the CIA is not supposed to whack people on United States soil. They're just supposed to whack people internationally.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Three, if all of this is like nonsense, then he just made it up. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to become internet
But then-
trying to become internet famous for what? To go get locked up over defamation or,
Right. And has
spread-
he been lawsuited? We don't know.
Yeah.
He's talking to Candace Owens right now. But then I think he's got some more story, which is ridiculous.
Well, like I said, if I'm some silly person who thinks the moon landings are fake and they really went, why would the CIA be involved? But I have proof that they didn't go. Classified footage and an eyewitness. That's why the CIA is involved. And I go into my book, me being literally kidnapped at the back door of CNN, trying to get somebody the tape by the government, drugging me with truth serum, vomiting, telling them everything they wanted to know, escaping, peeing in a cup, taking it to a lab, and the lab was broken into and my urine sample was stolen. All that is in the book.
So you're saying that there was more between the CIA and you, aside from them saying, should I have that guy whacked after Buzz Aldrin punched you in the face?
Yeah.
Buzz Aldrin
So
punched
that's
him
a
in the
pretty
face.
crazy story.
I mean, would you be that surprised if the CIA had something involved with the moon landing videos and, painting a narrative for the American populace back then when we were in the, Cold War? The race to space.
I mean, that new movie that they just came out with Scarlett Johansson and the Channing Tatum guy, right? They painted this concept of a fake moon landing as the deep state government says, "Hey, we need to make a fake one in case the real one goes bad." And then the woman made it so good and like put the whole thing together with like fake actors and blah 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 that he was like, "Oh, we're just gonna use that no matter what because that's better than the real one ever could be."
So where's the real footage?
And then, they
Then why
pulled a
can't we see it?
Swift on him at the last minute, and the real footage was actually aired. Like, I don't know.
Yep. Smells a little weird still.
So then I was like, well, of course the movie's gonna be propaganda, but who knows? Who knows? I
Still
don't know.
smells a little weird. I still love the camera that was on the moon before anybody got there.
Oh, okay. So here we go. So we're to the, how does lame duck President Joe Biden just give out all of these medals kind of thing, man. God bless. So this is the medal to Mr. Jose Andres, who appeared in photos of the Trump would-be assassin. What I want to know is like, this is like clickbaity kind of like titles or whatever, right? What I want to know is like, what was it for? So this guy is like, on our side, only known for taking a picture with like the attempted assassinator guy, who was a Manchurian candidate going to Fort Bragg like, 40, 100 times, whatever the alleged number is. So that's kooky, right? But, we don't know much about him. So, maybe he deserves the medal. Okay.
Maybe he thought it was just some random dude with a cool American flag thing around his neck.
But do you think she deserves a medal?
Heck no. Only if it's a medal for first place of endangering American lives.
So, like, how do they give Hillary Clinton a Medal of Freedom when she says things like this?
And boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrence because and boosting Trump back in 2016.
For like speaking?
Yeah.
So, like, do you think that deserves a
Semi-commie.
Medal of Freedom?
Well, she totally, freed a bunch of dollars into some people's pockets through what she's done. She's freed some people of their livingness,
well, I think
allegedly, through the years.
Again, you said, Scott, let's not bury the lead. This list is not celebrating their, addition to freedom or their assistance with freedom. It's just a Jeffrey Epstein, or, maybe a P. Diddy, list of people that I'm going to mark with this medal so that when Trump tries to put them in jail, you can go, but they got the Medal of Freedom. They're a good person. Trump's ridiculous.
Little do you know, the Medal of Freedom is a get out of jail free card.
Trump's a terrible person. He's trying to put this person who got a freedom medal in there. What a bad man Trump is. Trump, bad man. Trump try and put freedom medal people in jail. And then regular people go, yeah, Trump, bad man. She got medal. Medal make her totally good.
Dude,
is it like home base? I'm safe.
Man.
Home base, I'm safe. I got this freedom medal.
It's hard. It's hard to think about. People are really thinking that.
And then he was like, bro, nobody's going to go with Hunter getting a freedom medal, so I'm just going to have to blanket pardon him.
Yeah. Or more like he's going to be afraid what pictures Hunter's going to take with the medal doing what.
So we're biased, right? Anything Joe Biden does, almost anything, I could maybe like one thing, like maybe the CHIPS Act. The CHIPS Act, I'll give him credit for. That was a good idea. We need American-made CPUs, American-made microprocessors. We need those in America, folks. And then if we could give Americans jobs at these facilities, that would be great. Maybe a few H-1Bs. Maybe we'll get some high-brained, great people working at local chip manufacturers, but American jobs, American-made microprocessors, great. So, touche, Joe Biden, that's great. But if the guy who's friends with the guy who tried to kill Trump doesn't upset you, if Hillary Clinton getting a Medal of Freedom doesn't upset you, Skeletor is definitely going to upset you.
No, that's great. Skeletor is very important.
Okay, that one's a prank from the Babylon Bee. That's just an honorable mention. Because if you didn't think Hillary was upsetting and was not Skeletor, I think where to go? Oh, maybe I didn't post it. Damn. He gave it to George Soros.
Yeah, and his son.
No, the son accepted it because George Soros is like about to
that's
die.
what it was.
Yeah. So the son like was there to
Oh.
accept it.
Crimea River.
But he gave the man, the international man, the international myth, the legend, the absolute horrible man who's banned in like 7 or more countries for completely destroying them and then profiting on the rebuilding of the destroyed country. He gave that guy an American Medal of Freedom. The guy that's literally quoted in an interview being like, yeah, so like I was a little Jewish kid and then the Nazi Hitler supported military guys picked me up out of like a bunch of like destruction area and said like, hey, little kid, help me find the other Jews so we can put them in camps. And like, so I did. And I don't regret it. I just needed to save my own ass. I'd do it again. So like, that's paraphrased, but the guy literally said like, yeah, I definitely did help those like, Nazis find the other Jews and put them in jail. And then most of them probably were murdered. And he's an amazing man that needs the Medal of Freedom. Amen. I mean, people change, but, I don't know. George Soros is known around the world for destroying and murdering people and funds all of these people that try to attack our freedoms and the people that stand for our freedoms, like, Donald Trump and others, right? Like,
Yep.
Ron DeSantis is vocally against George Soros-backed judges because they all do terrible policy usually, man.
Yeah, it's
And
almost
they allow
like
crime to proceed,
it's
right? They're the
almost
ones that
like
let
they're
them
getting
out.
a bunch of money possibly from somebody with a bunch of money to do things as they're told.
In a few instances, I believe we literally have records of it. Like, we literally have the records of them getting money from somebody connected to the George Soros.
I mean, there
fund.
was the judges that were paid by Pritzker.
That too, right? Yep, that one's another.
Pritzker is on record paying judges and then having a certain thing sway in what would have people could have said the way he would have favored it to be. That sounds like bribery at the judge level. That should be worse than bribing a cop or a federal agent.
I know, right?
You should be straight to jail. Straight to jail, where hopefully you can lose a couple because you won't get as much food as you normally do in a day there, bud.
Okay, so
Actually, he'll probably have so much commissary it'd be unreal. He'd probably actually just get diabetes all in there, and then that'd be so sad, so sad. Cry me another river. I'm just making rivers of my tears tonight.
Oh yeah. Side note, I guess Mr. Trudeau just announced that he's going to resign.
Oh, before he gets found out and put on blast, more than likely. That's the only reason these people resign. That is the only reason ever that they actually step down.
Pretty interesting. I think it was
Is it about-
Candace Owens. She said something about Barack Obama, Trudeau, Macron, and then like 2 others, and it's no coincidence that they're all gay.
There was a hell of a
Because
Diddy party one night.
Allegedly, Macron's wife was like a he, and then like allegedly Obama's wife's a he, and then Trudeau like divorced his wife. I don't know, but she's like tinfoil on like all these leaders are like actually gay dudes in disguise. Interesting.
I
But
mean, that's been kind of how it's been for a while. Yeah.
I would like to draw your attention to the screen here because our good friend of the show, Mr. Scott Labida, I don't know how to say his name, but that's close enough. He's got a fresh painting. Remember the one that he, showcased in front of ABC of The View, and their faces were just like poop emojis? So
Yeah.
he wanted to showcase his new painting commemorating Mr. George Soros getting his Medal of Freedom. And yes, that's his son.
Oh,
If
man.
you're just listening,
What good work, sir.
it's George Soros, really wrinkly and old and looking like some kind of a Sith Lord out of Star Wars. And he's breastfeeding this little son baby, but has like the adult face of his son. And then he's got like fire, like sparklers, like lighting the American flag on fire, because George Soros basically just funds things like BLM and Antifa that end up destroying America. Maybe not like BLM destroys America, but the co-opted BLM by the, anarchists and the Antifa destroyers of America and freedom, then make BLM look bad. But those are all funded by George Soros to try and destroy America, just like the other countries he's destroyed and then since been black marketed out of those countries.
Whatever makes him a profit. That's all it's about. Him making profit.
Speaking of profit, you can't keep an old dog down, bro. So, Alex Jones still at it, still great, still amazing. This Alex Jones guy, folks, he's like a cockroach. You can't take him down.
Yeah.
He's one of the
he'll be there.
cockroaches.
He'll be there after the nuclear war.
And so this is a great clip of one of his, he's an entertainer, so he says crazy shit. Most of it is all true. But sometimes he'll say some crazy shit that's not true technically, but it's like, an exaggeration of a truth. This is him just snapping in a funny satirical way, so I thought it was comedic. But he's getting heat on the old interwebs here for siding with Elon Musk. And he wanted to address people saying that he sold out to Elon Musk here.
What the hell? And he's exposing Jeffrey Epstein and the CIA. Hell, last week he put out tweets about the CIA at war with America. God almighty. Jones sold out retweeting that. God, I apologize to all of you. I'm sorry. I sold out. I tried to stop the pedophile rings, the giant Muslim kidnapping rings. I'm sorry. I kissed Elon Musk's ass. We're so close to getting the globalists. I want their throat. I want victory. And now you can see it. And you guys think you're going to harass Elon Musk and push him off of supporting Trump and divide Trump and Elon? You're not. We have already beaten your ass. Oh, let's continue. What the hell?
That was good. That was a good bit.
He doesn't do himself a good service when he makes crazy eyes, bro, because I'm like, bruh, bruh.
We got you.
These are the things they clip and go like, crazy whack no nut job.
This crazy conspiracy guy, as y'all might have heard, his name is Alex Jones.
Guys, I was doing a bit. I was really excited about us taking down the deep state global elitists. Sorry. Got a little too into it.
Got a little excited. Sorry. Let my crazy out a little bit.
Sorry. I wanted to act like I had a little Satan in me.
My crazy sometimes shines through my eyes. What can I say?
Oh, dude. I don't know. I'm a nut job, so I can watch these things like over and over again. Watch them just go like, let's get back into it.
Beating your ass. Oh, let's continue.
Just a normal day in the Alex Jones booth.
If you don't do a little crazy, bro, why you watch? Nobody want to watch no crazy, man. We just like crazy, man. Like
everybody wants a little crazy.
Not to mention, man, like I got to get on this guy's workout routine because he's at like 30, 40 pounds he's dropped now. That's absolutely bonkers, man. Thank God. This guy putting it in right here.
He just working hard.
Oh, man, that had me dying, though. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is the weekly reminder that global warming is absolute bullshit. If you remember seeing this one, like, hey, it's a little bit of a repeat, but I absolutely think it's worth it, bro, because this is the video right here. Another part of TrutherCast, folks. Another part of TrutherCast.
It's an easy question. 5 minutes on Google.
Yep. Another part of TrutherCast is, we're basically like a treasure trove of receipts. So if you join the locals.massdash.com community, 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word if you're spelling it out. But just click on that link and down in the description box down below, locals.massdash.com. If you join us there in the, semi-private, non-big tech censored, platform of mine and ours when you join. If you go there, you can use the little search box and you can search for things and it pulls it up nice and easy. It's not a censored Google feed where you can't find that informational factoid you were trying to remember that you saw. If you saw things on Facebook or X, I've talked to so many people, they can never pull it back up. It's like almost impossible. So the easy way to do it is go to the locals community, and then you just go into the search box and you could type in climate change for this one, and you could pull up this factoid when you're talking with a friend, a family, a foe, somebody in a, just a talk or a debate. Even if it's not against you, I always, get like where'd you hear that? And if I show them, they just go, oh. And then it's not like a, like questioning or like, doubting of me. So this one is great when you're trying to explain to somebody how unreal climate change is and how it's something that, the deep state bad guys that just want to keep funneling the money out of our pockets into theirs, just kind of turn it off when they don't want it and turn it back on when they want it, right?
Percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Anybody want to answer that? Nobody wants to answer that. Scientifically, it's an easy question. 5 minutes on Google. 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen. Carbon dioxide is 0.04%. Of that,
bruh.
I mean, I don't know.
Bruh.
I mean,
0.04% is carbon dioxide.
Google must have got it hopefully from some credible source somewhere. You gotta take that into effect.
Things used to be legitimate on Google, and specifically like statistical facts are usually pretty damn good.
Right.
But
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it had
you're
to pull
trying to
its,
steel man the argument here already.
So
you're devil's advocating already?
I mean, I
Like, why
already.
would you have disbelief? The man just said it.
Yeah.
what percentage comes from man-made? Of that 0.04? Anybody want to answer that? Google will tell you. It's around 11%. So 11% of 0.04% is produced by man-made, but that's what we're focused all of our attention on. That's what's caused global warming.
11% of 0.04% of carbon in the ozone thing is caused by
Just
human.
him Googling. But also remember, if you're gonna fight against that and you're on the left side of things, Google's left-sided. And they're saying it's basically fake. So
So it should be accurate.
I would say that might be a little more accurate, yes.
That retention by that 0.04% of the carbon emissions that we are 11% of is what we're debating here. The hundreds of billions of dollars we want to put in to prevent that, and that's going to prevent global warming and cooling, because we're talking about environmental change, which could be either. And over the millennium, I just recently watched say that it's the hottest month in 100,000 years, based on one scientific evidence. What reporting did we have around the world 100,000 years ago? I didn't see that Egyptian hieroglyphic. Did you? No answers. When I ask scientists all the time, no answers on how we are producing this climate change.
Now,
It's very true, bro.
Now, see, the thing is, either way, if it's not warming up or if it is warming up, it doesn't matter. The only thing that it affects is ice melting, which means what? More water. Guess what? Food grows on water. Animals need water. We're 70% water. Might not be that much, but we are a lot of water. And so water is a good thing. Why would it be a bad thing of us having more water? Oh, less ice. Why is that a bad thing? Only to those that want to keep things in the ice hidden, which might be possibly hidden in or behind some ice. There might be this ice wall that might be keeping us actually physically locked in here. And if that ice wall to disappear, that might, a couple mice might run out and into the field and cross that field into another one where they weren't ever supposed to or able to wander before. That might be bad for the mice to find out what's out there. Okay. But this is why it doesn't matter either way. If global warming, if we're not actually warming up our atmosphere or if we are. Ooh, guess what? Okay. How many things die in a warmer climate? We're not talking about desert here. Not the whole world isn't going to turn into a Sahara.
Well, maybe a super long time until then, at minimum.
Definitely past our freaking lifetimes and our grandkids' lifetimes and their great-great-grandkids' lifetimes. So what would we really care that much? So, because we're all selfish, right? As we've seen in the last decades, it's only about our lifetimes. Boomers.
How many things die in heat? I think your point was heat less bad than cold.
Look at the Amazon. Lots of water, more heat. What's the Amazon? A thriving rainforest of all these different types of life that we haven't even documented all of them yet. We find new ones every day, week, whatever it is, hour, because there's people out there working it all the time and they're always finding new stuff.
And we also found the ancient civilization that actually was in the Amazon.
Yes, buried under the forest. And oh, what do you know? They had some pyramid type structures.
And they actually seeded the entire rainforest
Yes.
of the Amazon.
So, again, what was the world when the dinosaurs were around? Oh, warm and lush with moisture. So, things seem to do well. We get big mammals like dinosaurs in a warm, moisture-rich environment.
Megafauna, they call them.
What happens to your homeless guy when it's really warm outside? Oh, generally,
he gets naked at work.
They get naked at worst. They find a shady spot. They might need a little bit more water, but when it's warm, water's gonna be in places. It's gonna rain more often. What happens when it drops below freezing temps? And homeless guy outside.
People die. They die.
Oh, you freeze up and you cease to exist. But when it's warmer, you sweat a little more. Unless you're exerting yourself to get heat stroke, your odds of survival are much higher in warm environment over cold. Cold kills things, not to mention your food might not grow in the cold depending on what food you grow unless, especially for you vegans, you should care because guess what is the only food we'd have if it was cold? Oh, meat. All the animals means we carnivore diet more. More animals die from us having to eat them to sustain life.
Yeah,
when we could have warm environment to grow those green goods. But when it's cold, which is what they want it to be, then you have no green goods. You see how you're being totally fugazi here?
Yeah, because you could sit and debate blah 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 which one's easier or harder for like food or something. But the main point though, just like easy.
If you ask Bill Gates, it won't matter because it's all going to be indoor and artificial light and artificial seeds, and we won't need outside to grow our crop.
Well, if you ask him, the reason is
Yada,
like,
yada, yada.
that's why we need to block out the sun. But the point there that I think is like more easily made in the debate is just statistically more people die in cold. Like when it gets cold out, more people die because blah blah. It's harder for humans just to exist in cold. So
yes,
but that's why they're worried about And it used to be global freezing, bro. Like if you look back like 10, 20 years ago, it was like Al Gore saying like in the next year there's going to be a global ice age, and it's like not true.
Womp womp womp.
And then, last week or two, we had a map up here of like the alleged scientific like hundreds or thousands and millions of years in the past. And we're actually at like the lowest it's been in a long time.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
global warming is true.
Turns out there was more volcanoes and more dino shit back then where there was more CO2 in the atmosphere.
Yeah, right.
And guess what that did? Also contributed to the plant life again, because what do plants eat and feed off of?
Yeah.
CO2.
So
it's just another ploy for them to kill off natural life.
And also in that clip, like that one was a shorter version of it, but I remember that one, right? The guy also gets into, we said it was 0.04 carbon in the atmosphere, carbon dioxide. So what is the optimal? So then when you look at like science, it's like, well, 4 or 5 was optimal. And so like if we're like, let's say it was 5, I think. If we're at 4 right now, we're already like suboptimal. And then, climate change activists are trying to say that we need less carbon dioxide. So if we were to go below 4, we'd now be like
starving all of our plant life.
Because this small amount actually matters like in great, recourse, right? So if we actually lessened the carbon monoxide and got it down to carbon dioxide, if we lessened that to a 0.03, then they said it was something like, plant life.
They
has
want
and blah, blah, blah.
Because what would that then be?
You have to get the synthetic
another
stuff?
win for what
Like,
is going to
forces them into needing.
What's going to make it all possible?
Yeah.
What's going to be what makes farming possible at that point?
Like all like synthetic-y something like manufactured.
But what do you need to make the growing happen?
Fake sun.
Which is?
Fake sun.
More simple part? Energy.
Mhm.
Electricity.
Sure.
Which Nikolai Tesla wanted the world to have free.
Yeah.
Which that wouldn't be an issue if that was the thing. Guess what? Is your electric bill free? I don't know anybody's electric bill that's free. Not even the government. So
They don't know anyone.
guess what? It's the oligarchs with their freaking huge companies, and they're just going to make us more dependent on the energy to where then all of a sudden the whole laws of the whole world are dependent on if we can produce electricity or not because we're running out of this sort of fuel, blah, 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 blah. When the earth naturally makes a whole shit ton of electricity, as Nikola Tesla found out years ago. And here we are trying to find new science. We're going backwards, dude.
Slight snarky correction. The FBI doesn't know anyone that's electric bill is free anymore.
I'll accept that correction.
Because they murdered them. Allegedly, anybody that had a free energy device just happened to have their, lab rated and then wound up having, a sniffles attack to death.
Yep.
So, did you hear about all the tech CEOs lining up to kiss the ring?
No. Which ring?
The ring of Trump. So all these tech CEOs actually started donating to the inauguration, right? So it's like a normal, historical thing. They got to, put in the money. Maybe they get some favorable policy. Well, poor, Tim Cook here is getting heat over on the far left, crazy person taking over Blue Sky social media. And everyone's like, oh, guess I'm going to Android. Everybody's like, go throw out my iPhone. Tim Cook donated $1 million to Trump. And it's like, dude, $1 million. Bro, that dude pulled a penny out of his pocket and said, Daddy Trump, you give me policy? I was like, he ain't gonna get nothing for $1 million, dog. Get out of here.
How
But
much,
I mean,
how much you want to bet Trump's gonna go? You guys are silly. Pulls out his iPhone.
you're right.
I bet he's an iPhone person.
Allegedly, everyone has to be because it is more secure than Android. So everybody in an elite situation has to be on iPhone. They don't get a choice. Like
Peasants,
government, blah, blah, blah.
peasants we are.
Yeah. And then they're supposed to be able to get a Samsung because Samsung has something called Knox, which is a woo-woo hardcore security system. And the whole purpose of Knox was for Samsung phones to be able to be utilized in an enterprise situation, like business or government.
Yeah, I wonder what they named that after.
Yeah, right. And we're gonna call it Fort Knox.
Yeah.
But this was a funny one.
Securest place in the U.S. Oh, where our gold is, obviously, where our money. We got that held down. Fort Knox. Yes. Great name to name our software of the most secure. And then a Chinese 11-year-old kid comes in and probably breaks the algorithm.
So there's just a whole bunch of leftist meltdowns here, man. They're like, get rid of think different. Get in line with every other CEO telling the emperor how wonderful his new outfit is. And it's like, bruh, y'all are kind of just melting down about this shit, bro. But the more important part, in my humble opinion, is they're just smart businessmen. And then also they don't have to pander to woke. So if this was previous, the lay of the land changed. And then these guys, friends of the show, so these guys are Clownfish TV. They're pretty good for covering some news events and everything. I like following them. If you would like to build a better news feed, follow them over on the YouTube. But they were kind of pointing out here, it's like the trend, the culture has shifted. So these smart businessmen CEOs are also like, one, we might be able to get a Trump supporter to buy an iPhone now. And then two, I don't have to hide it as much, right? Because less people are maybe going to lose their ish. So Blue Sky's like a shooting fish in a barrel for an angry, extremely leftish kind of person. So of course Blue Sky would be the most upset about this. But then also to note, it wasn't Apple donating this money. It was Tim Apple. Tim Cook, literally himself. And then also, Tim Cook must not hold a grudge about him being called Tim Apple by Trump because he donated the money. But it's a big list of people, dude, that are
Tim
actually
Apple.
donating to the Trump inauguration because, hey, he's a president and hey, we're trying to get out of the wokey people control the entire reality around us portion of reality in life here.
Or maybe you have some things that you might be worried that get looked into. And the easiest way to make it seem like you're on their side where they wouldn't have to look into you is, hey, throw some money their way. Always got to keep the suspicion at alert.
This one's kind of just
Not all nice deeds are done for nice reasons.
This one's from a good friend of the show, Mr. Doug Tenaple, the guy who made Earthworm. Or wait, yeah, what is it? Earthworm Jim.
Like he just
The old video game, man. I'm blanking on the name right now.
yeah.
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
But this
You
is
know,
a good reminder of how much like angry, violent rhetoric that the deep state Joe Biden tries to push.
What any terrorism body count has in America.
According to the United States intelligence community, domestic terrorism from white supremacists is the most lethal terrorist threat in the homeland. The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
The White House pressed on Biden's comments earlier, but instead just walked away.
Thanks, guys. Thank you,
She's
everybody.
learning from
Consider white
not
supremacy the greatest
from
terrorist
Well, she learned from, Joe Biden.
threat in the United States.
Meanwhile, Speaker Mike Johnson is calling out the Biden administration for forcing the FBI to not prioritize the right
lost the wheel.
things.
For 4 years now, the Biden administration has taken its eye off the ball. I mean, they did not prioritize, in our view, the right things. And the FBI was off doing all these various and sundry things, putting their emphasis in their investigations and their eye on, conservative Catholics and concerned parents at school board meetings and all these other things. They tried to convince us that the greatest threat to the homeland was racially motivated extremism.
Usually, race is shorthand for ideology because even a white supremacist of some kind, it's not his skin color, right? It's his ideology.
Right, dude. So they're just trying to say, like, oh, be scared of that, and anything against our ideology. Oh no, like, 'cause we're gonna create, like, fear, uncertainty, and doubt about, like, absolutely insane, bro.
It almost sounds a little bit like Nazi Germany back in the day.
100%, bro.
Ah,
Right?
the rhetoric the Nazis were building up. Yeah.
That's why it's so frustrating, right? Because it is just like massive projection as usual, and like hypocrisy of like, they're like Hitler.
Yeah.
No, you're actually the most like Hitler. God
Yeah.
bless.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. They're literally that ignorantly dumb that they don't even realize they're doing it. They're so caught up in their ego that they think they're doing all this good and whatnot. Like, oh, the person I trusted them. I just never thought they would have been a bad person, so I was just following them and following how they acted and the people before them.
Well, it's
Oh,
just
but-
following the rules or following the orders is the
Yeah.
usually get out of jail free. And
I thought they had to have been good. Like, how could that person have been bad in their position? Oh, look at you. You're actually just so stupidly ignorant. Like,
or
you
naive.
thought you were doing that would be another word for it. Yeah.
Slightly nicer version.
Yeah. I couldn't think of it. So thanks for bringing that. Y'all naivers out there.
So Mr. Horrible, terrible, bad man, Mr. Putin himself, right? Again, tricky debate here, right?
Yeah, because you never know if it's
Horrible.
because they have been the masters of the propaganda from back in the day. So are they doing a double?
And he's a totalitarian guy that just happens to keep getting elected, right? It's not like he offs his competition or like forces them out or like something, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's also tricky because the enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? So like, allegedly, Mr. Putin also outsmarted BlackRock. And like, man, I'm really not a big fan of BlackRock. And outmaneuvered the Rothschilds last year in a major oil deal because what he just did was like those two things that he did allegedly, right? And right now he's just taken control of Ukraine's largest lithium deposit. The research potentially worth hundreds of billions of
Now,
hundreds
what
of
was
billions of
that?
dollars.
Was that done forcefully or through actual paperwork deals from back then? That's the only
That's a good
thing that
question. I
would
didn't even
make
think about
it. That's the only
that.
thing that would make it be like, if he took it forcefully, yeah.
Well,
like maybe the war is important because he's just over here like taking hundreds of billions and saying it's his.
but I would debate what were we doing?
What have we done over decades with the CIA?
No,
in
with
different
Ukraine
countries?
and the
Oh.
lithium deposits.
Oh, right.
What would you call that? Were we not taking it forcefully? Well, we were giving Ukraine money and bombs, so we weren't taking anything forcefully. Well,
Our own military wasn't there.
Well,
Were we
via-
funding it though, like our military? Yeah.
via getting into a war with Russia was the way for us to weasel our toe in the door to take these lithium deposits. So we were what? Trying to fugazi people and think that we weren't taking the lithium. We were just helping them defend by murdering Russians and Ukrainians. And maybe a few Americans in the happened to get into the crossfire that weren't supposed to be in the war.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a tricky, but man, the guy's a smart business player. And so if
He's smart in the business chess world.
And then, so if he
environment.
actually does have this lithium deposit now, how is that going to make the negotiations with him in America, Baba-doo, Baba-dee?
More like, yeah. What you going to do with that one, Trump?
Yeah.
I would love to see how. I'm not saying I doubt it. Just how you. I don't know enough business knowledge with just how you make. Well, what it would depend on where our footholds with other lithium. I don't know where we get our lithium and how we're getting all of our
Allegedly, There's a
lithium.
whole bunch here on our soil,
Right,
but we don't
yeah.
want to do it because, mining's bad. So that's
Well-
why he wants to remove red tape for things like mining and business and pollution and blah, 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 so that we can then onshore production, manufacturing, and blah, 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 because
Which would be good, but also bad if that's actually then what the whole reason of the Hurricane Eileen, or was it Eileen or Helene or what? Helene. Yeah.
And then the
What
train
a name.
explosion thingy that was alleged, like, to try and get land for mining and minerals kind of thing
Yeah.
as well.
So if like doing that to sneakily get into mining in America, don't really like that too much. I mean,
It's tricky, bro,
I
because
mean-
if you just got rid of the regulations, then they could have done it normal. They wouldn't have had to, like, create a freaking false flag to get rid of the people to, like, then mine there.
also, I mean, do we like our way of life? Yes, we do. And
Tricky,
what
right?
powers that right nowadays? Lithium is in all of our wireless technology.
Tricky, right?
So if they knew Putin was basically going to possibly take what might have been our main supplier of lithium into his hands to where he might sell us a good deal, he might, upcharge us because we're at war basically with him through funding through Ukraine.
I would imagine
So
Trump get a good deal.
you think, but depending on how they
Right.
they might know more info on it than we do, and he might be trying to hoard all of it for himself. So if they're going to hoard all of it
That's
for
gonna be
themselves,
strategic.
and we still need lithium, what are we going to do? I mean, yeah, people have like their whole rest of their past their lives, years into these certain territories, but you are. If you got a social security card, you're paying taxes. You part of the corporation, keeping the whole thing going. And part of keeping the whole thing going at this point would be, we need lithium. You happen to be there. We're not gonna just cut your legs off, but like if you're not gonna move, your life might kind of suck if you don't want to move, because we're gonna get that lithium either way. So either you can take the deal, or you're gonna have to scaboot and maybe take a lesser deal if you don't want to play nice.
And then
But
possibly-
they're probably going to play nice first. But I mean, yeah, it's the thing. I would also feel like I would, if I grew up somewhere that was our family's land, and then you're telling me we have to give it up to the government. It would be like, oh hell, how? No, find any other place except mine. But then you realize all your other neighbors are also losing their stuff. And if you're here for America, living in America, what's you're supposed to be your primary purpose? The freedom of all of us having a better life, the best living environment out of the world. America's the best. We have the best technology. We have this and that. Sometimes that takes a little bit of sacrifice. Everybody that's done something great will tell you it wasn't free.
Something great, good.
sacrificed.
Yeah.
And it just depends where. Obviously, we don't want to see sacrifice, but everyone, you have to do something that might hurt people's feelings.
And it's
Like,
easier,
are we gonna kill them? No. Like,
and it's easier to be on board with it when it's not your sacrifice.
right? Yeah, yeah. Like, oh. Hence, Democrats letting in a bunch of illegals and wanting them to have, this whole awesome start and free housing and everything, but they won't let their homes open to that.
So then I wonder if, maybe it's Trump being a tariff hammer would be the solution. So is this another tariff nail? So, hey, Russia, give us a good deal on lithium. We're going to drop tariffs on anything that you're importing.
Right.
Or like, can you do a negative tariff?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like,
I was wondering if I
don't know,
wanted to
some
bring the tariff thing
negotiation
into
kinda
it because
thing
they
or
were like,
something.
the tariffs are bad.
So, some negotiation of some sort. But after all the things and all the over, $250 billion plus that we've given Ukraine.
Is it just that much? I feel like it's like 600 billion or
No.
something at this point.
So what's really weird is they got up to 150 billion and then said another like 60 billion, and that was the last number I could add up together. And then there's been another 10 billion here, 50 billion there, da da da. So I was spitballing. We got to be upwards 250, 300 billion plus, right? For Ukraine. So after all of that, and all of the Ukrainians and Russians and Americans that have or may have died, he not only has control of the region of the bay, the port that he just wanted, like, to keep, and then he just wanted that autonomous zone, so there was a buffer in between him and Ukraine. All of that he has still. Now he has the lithium deposit. So what was the point of all of this? Like, you got to try even if you lose, but still.
And it'd be interesting to see like what the land really is. Like, is that just media saying, or like boots on the ground? Like, where does he actually have control on it? Because there's a little bit of that
And that's
sometimes
our media
too.
saying it, though, so it maybe be a little bit more.
Right, that's what I'm
to take it
saying.
true.
Like, yeah, I'd like to
You know what I
hear.
mean?
I'd like to hear from people over there, like
Mhm.
exactly if that's true or not.
Right. I'm just saying it's not less likely true because it was a mainstream media.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just like
Just making
what was it all
sure.
for?
Just making sure everybody's thinking of all possible sides of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all we can do is try to take all the options into consideration and narrow them down.
Man, what was this one? I decided to start getting more clickbaity with my own titles.
Gotta start somewhere.
If you didn't already hate the deep state virus within our government of this fine constitutional republic, I think this could make it worse. They're now openly admitting that $42 billion of high-speed internet program money was laundered and used for programs it was not intended to be. So the FCC awarded Elon Musk $885 million to serve 642,000 plus homes, okay? So then Joe Biden targeted Elon Musk and revoked this contract after Elon bought Twitter, right? And then the Democrats turned around and made a deal that costs $100,000 per home, but spent the money on their radical agenda instead. So this is like another like sad story of absolute like egotistical mismanagement of our money from the top, bro?
Yeah. First off, I just love how they're just like billion here, billion there. They're just throwing billions everywhere. Let's make it rain billions up in here. Like spending $600 million was a big deal. The budget, and now it's just billions and billions
Well,
and billions.
inflation.
First off, these billions they're throwing around. For how many billions they say Elon Musk has, and he's the richest man in the world.
Right?
They're like sometimes double what his net worth is, and they're just like, just a new one this month. Like that dude's the richest man in the world. Watch us.
Well-
Watch us print that richness off.
Well, maybe I should say the punchline first because the point is even more matterful. So how absurd is it they toss billions around when they put $42 billion into the program to give something Americans internet, and not one home has been connected in 3 years of this program?
Hey, remember,
they're
Kamala
throwing
spent
around the
$1 billion to have an unsuccessful campaign,
And that was all from like small people and
and still owes
rich people.
$20 mil. As
It
far as
wasn't
I
even
know,
like taxpayer money.
haven't heard that 20 mil's been paid off yet.
I don't know. And then that one's weird too because 20 mil is a drop in the bucket if you're effing around with billions. So
Well, for
That's like
Congress,
that's a credit card
they're like,
payment,
they're
dog.
like 20 billion.
It's a credit card payment.
20 million. I spent more than that on lunch. Like, come on, give them the money.
That's just a credit card payment. If you got a
Yeah.
billion like budget, bro, that's
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't pay that, my bust. Monthly payment. But yeah, 42 billion of taxpayer money spent that went somewhere, and it didn't go to completing the internet. So where did it go? Oh, it went to advancing the wish list of progressive policy goals. They then, pushed the DEI requirements, the climate change, the agenda, it all just goes into the agenda, which means, folks, let us pull the curtain back. Let us reveal the wizard.
Pull the rug out from under him.
What that means is the money went into their pockets, bro.
Yeah.
That's in my humble
You
opinion.
mean
call me
20 for
crazy.
Nancy, 20 for Shum, 10 for the big guy, 10
dude.
for Hunter.
Dude, like that's where that money goes. So absolutely insane.
You know that email that they uncovered that in Hunter Biden's laptop talking about
Insane.
splitting money from a foreign entity that we were, basically leveraging for their own good? Very, very great people to have in the politics. Yes. They got super rich while you ate shit. You felt sick? Nope. You better get to work, pay those taxes, boy. Because we got money to spend that ain't ours. Dude, our government has been, I just thought of this analogy a little bit ago. You don't want to give your credit cards to young kids because generally they're just going to go out and buy things, right? Our whole government, that's the oldest people allowed to basically function in this place.
The gerontocracy.
All these grandma and grandpas that are running this thing are like little kids with credit cards that have no understanding on how they work and how it's going to affect them in the future. And they're just like, like I could file bankruptcy after I rack them all up. And they're just racking them up. While they're then racking them up and going, hey, Jimmy, do not accept that $600 because if you do, you got to pay taxes on it. Like, dude, just
Kind of seems that way.
absurd. Absolutely absurd. They're just out there spending. Oh, and the thing is, to make it even a better metaphor, it's our credit cards.
Yep.
And we sign them on as authorized users like
Yep.
fools.
Yep.
Because now they're just running away with it, and we can't even undo it. We can't call it bankrupt, nothing. We are stuck in it for life, hence your birth certificate and your social security card.
Well, I don't know. Trump was actually throwing around defaulting on our entire debt this last week, so that's a little crazy. But
right.
So
Yeah.
then also the Congress has a list of hush money payouts with United States taxpayer money for making people shut up about sexual assault allegations.
Yeah,
So like,
because apparently,
and they wanted
if
to
you look
reveal Matt
into
Gaetz,
it,
but not
a
theirs.
whole bunch of Congress people have sexual assault cases or charges.
Yeah, bro, like way too many, man.
Man,
Way too many.
They're all about freaking sexual harassment meetings from HR for all these small companies abroad, the U.S. I've worked at a few. It seemed like every few months it's like, oh, we got to go over the new sexual harassment rules. There's new words and new things that somebody might be, harassed by. So we need to go over those so nobody's uncomfortable in work
That's
environment.
a good reminder.
What I bet they do zero of those in Congress and Senate and all that because they're just out there wild and sexually assaulted everybody. It's almost like they heard the message. They're like, we need more sexual assault in the workplace. You're saying, got it.
Well, the other thing that's absurd, in my opinion, bro, is then it's another example of the blatant hypocrisy and projection that these congressional politicians then target the like good guy, our-sided people that are trying to come in and try to hit them with like sexual allegations.
No,
bro,
and
like
I just
sexual harassment
realized
allegations. They tried to get the guy in Supreme Court. Then they tried to get Matt Gaetz. Then they tried to throw this at the Hegseth. Then they're,
We didn't even realize. Just think about it. This started like Trump way back when first term. They have been projecting the whole time.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
We didn't even
100%.
realize this
100%,
was
bro.
one of the. Well, I didn't realize this was one of the projections
Which
until
one?
now. Oh, that they're like, he paid her off with hush money, this
Yes.
and that.
Yes.
Oh, Stormy Daniels, all these alleged like rapings, this
Yes.
and that, blah blah blah.
It's projection.
Projection because they're in Congress raping all each other.
Yep.
Just a sexually assaulting everybody's buttholes in there.
Or at least that one that took a video of it.
Projection.
Yep, admission through projection, we call it, folks. So now that we are happy, not inauguration, happy certification day, January 6th, I think it is a great time to remind us that Trump needs to pardon a whole lot of people. So they're already trying to start a narrative that Trump's going to be a bad man pardoning all these J6ers and stuff like that, right? They're already starting the narrative.
Kick rocks,
Yeah,
you
bro.
Chinese pedophile child picture having mofos. Oh,
Joe Biden pardoned a Chinese national who pled guilty to 47,000 child pornography photos. And it's only 47,000 because the United States government investigating that case stopped counting there.
And at that second when that word was said, we might have said see you again. Oh, wait, we're not live on YouTube because we're still banned, right? Oh, we are.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Yeah, I hit go. Screw it. Hey. Yeah. So it's definitely not going to be promoted in the feed, but a good reminder of one of the first people, in my humble opinion, and many, that should be pardoned by the Z Master Trump on day one is the Gold Star mom, Tina Peters, and her son who died while serving as Navy SEAL. She exposed the election fraud in Colorado, and the prosecutors went after her instead of the actual effing criminals, bro. So, like, she could die in prison, like anybody in prison could maybe die at any moment, right? So this mother is in prison still to this day. But then, figure this out, man. While the trial was going on, then Jenna Griswold leaked the whole entire election machine passwords for hundreds of election machines in Colorado, which is a class 5 felony. And that woman never saw a day in court. That was the governor. The governor of Colorado committed a class 5 felony and never even went to court. Now, maybe she shouldn't have gone to jail for it.
It's going to suck when they push this too far and the whole majority of the nation is going to start going. They're going to start finding out how outrageous this is. And guess what's going to...
That's why they tried to do January 6th to make
guess what's
revolution
gonna,
a scary thing.
Guess what's going to repeat in history?
Revolution.
It had... No. I mean, not that specifically. Something else very specific. What did we always used to have a common square for? We'd all used to gather.
Gladiator?
Kinda, but no, because people died.
Oh, you mean?
But it wasn't people fighting each other.
You mean the punishment for treason?
Public execution.
Yeah. Now, I'm not
Why
really
not?
on board with that a lot because,
Why not?
Well, we talk a lot of shit about extreme...
You keep skirting out of all these injustices, you're going to eventually nobody's going to have that small amount of empathy. I'm just saying that's how psychology works. I'm not pitching it. I'm just stating you the facts.
Well, we talk down a lot about, the crazy extreme Middle East where they do eye for an eye and public executions. So I definitely don't think we should get crazy about it or maybe do it at all. But,
all I'm saying is there's certain masses of people in the country now.
Let's bring spanking back first and maybe putting people in jail that deserve it. And then, maybe
Well, that's what the system is supposed to be, Scott. That's what I'm getting at. And if they keep getting out of it like this and there's going to be more occurrences, it's going to not be there's not going to be the chance for the small punishment anymore. People are going to be that pissed off.
Right.
And then y'all that were like thinking you were going to get prison and fearing it. Ooh, now you might actually be thinking twice about what you're doing.
That's
but
what
the
we
thing
hope that
is,
nobody is
it's going to be the next
vigilanteism.
people that haven't done it yet that are going to think about it, because the people that already did it at that point, then the people are going to have no satisfaction until you are publicly executed.
Which is why we pray to God that nobody is pushed
So
to
quit your shit
vigilanteism.
now and it won't get to that point. I'm just saying.
Right. And this is not threats from us. This is hope that nobody else does crazy shit. Just like the mainstream media
Well, that's the only way
just kept raising the rhetoric to where finally somebody tried to assassinate Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Nobody wishes that, but if you keep saying bad things or doing bad things, then people that are a little bit off are going to do what they think is a good reaction to these crazy things, which is bad events. Violence is never the answer.
Like, you can only poke the bear so many times. and the bear is the majority of people.
That's why you should always
in
probably
this-
be with a man in the woods instead of a bear.
Well, women have a certain way of thinking.
You got a little Irish there. Women have a certain way of thinking,
And my Irish came out a little bit.
So, on this day, the January 6th, it's a great reminder that the Democrats and the, dirty extreme leftists of media and, the whole deep state, mockingbird system try to make everybody believe that, the January 6th was the worst attack on the Capitol ever. However, they seem to leave out the 1983 bombing of the U.S. Capitol by the left-wing extremists. The leader of that group was this woman, Susan Rosenberg, who Clinton actually commuted her sentence and completely pardoned her from jail, to which she is now on the board of BLM.
We covered this last January 6th, too.
I believe so.
Yep.
And it was like full blown up Capitol building of 1983. Woman go to jail.
I can't imagine what damage was worse, blowing the doors through or having paid
Windows
Shills
broken.
Antifa people bust windows. I wonder how many people died in that one.
Well, they
You
try
know-
to say 5 cops died in the Trump, January 6th debacle, but that's not true.
Yeah,
Because no police died
was,
that day.
That was proven false.
One
The-
cop died the next day of a heart attack. And then what I didn't know, do you know why the other 4 policemen died? I completely forgot ever hearing this.
Myocarditis.
It was end their own game of life. I was like, wait, what? Why did those 4
So
cops?
they realized what was happening, and they said, "This shit's so disgusting. What y'all are doing, left side," and they ended themselves.
Well-
Congratulations, that blood is on your hands.
Well, or they were silenced.
Because they could have said something.
I have no idea, man.
Well,
that's
again,
that's
that doesn't
crazy.
change the fact that the blood is on your left side of his hand.
It's absolutely crazy. But those cops did not die the day of January 6th, bro. And then 30 people died in the 30 plus people died in the Antifa BLM riots.
I want to know how many people died in that bombing. I bet it was almost 0. I bet it was 0.
Let's just go to the magical box.
Let's see if Ashley Oh, hey, let's also not forget, remind any people that forgot last time, any new viewers, new info for you. The officer that shot and killed Ashley Babbitt because she totally posed a huge threat against him was
Oh wait, that's Lebanon. What?
yeah. What was I gonna say?
The cop that murdered
Oh,
Ashley
the
Babbitt.
cop
in
that
cold
murdered
blood.
Ashley Babbitt got promoted to captain. After that, he was promoted for his heroic murder.
That don't make no sense. What's the Capitol building called? Zero.
Yeah, so J6 was bloodier for our people than a bombing was back in the day. So I guess maybe that would be the only thing you could say it was like
So did
worse.
they somehow evacuate everybody? Like the bomb didn't take out nobody. That's
Well,
interesting,
more
bro.
than likely, Scott, what we're seeing here is
leftist
they
extremism.
were saying that they tried killing Senate members. Like AOC said she thought she was going to be raped and killed.
Even though she wasn't there.
Yet she wasn't even anywhere in the vicinity. We got that
She
clip
was in
for the
building
receipt
next
coming
to
up
the
soon.
Capitol. Yeah, you said you shared that one, right?
Should have.
Yeah, that's a good reminder, though, man. Well, I don't know why Bill Clinton is commuting sentences for, domestic terrorism. Crazy.
I wonder if Suzanne Rosenberg was also from Fort Bragg.
And then this man got like 70 days in jail and a $2,000 fine for moving a podium a few feet for a snarky comedic photo.
I mean, you know,
Maybe
I mean, there's those
they like to spank our side.
there's those relics that are
like
in
to-
like the National Museum of Art in downtown DC. That's like they're like real sculptures away. So it's like, you know, if somebody just like picked that up and moved it, like you understand the significance of what you possibly could have done there with that historical object. That has
But
some
that's like a band.
historical.
If you pick something up and move it, that's maybe like, hey, you're banned, you can't come back here. But if they actually like destroyed it or defaced it or something, then maybe jail time. So this man picked up a podium and then took a snarky photo. And then they wanted to slap him on the wrist and make an example by putting him in prison and giving him a fine. My point is, these treatments of things are just completely inaccurate, bro.
Yeah, prison definitely. Like he got enough national shame from
Like, we're
them
gonna
posting
put him
pictures of
in-
him up being this horrible person.
We're gonna
the
put
whole
him in
time.
jail and we're gonna fine him, but then we're gonna pardon Chinese national pedophiles. Like we're going to not keep people in jail that murdered people in the whole BLM Antifa riots.
Also, this
like-
guy picked up a podium, moved it. Prison. Cop shoots woman that was just kind of coming in to say hi. Just seemed like
That's
in
a little bit of a lesson.
that
she was
came
crawling
in.
through a window and like, you know, in the like hullabaloo of it, but she had
And
no weapons on her.
The best part was she didn't even get to where she was on her feet or even on all fours on the other side. Shot fell through the door. What was she gonna do?
And that's not the only person that died that day. There was another person on
You
our
cops
side.
are such wussies. You don't pull a trigger until you see a weapon.
And there's
And if you don't see a weapon and you still feel like your life is in danger,
bonk him on the head.
You're a pussy. You're a big, fat, just beat up piece of crap in the dirt. You're so weak, dude.
And then there was another person that died, bro. This
Her,
woman,
him, y'all both can do cops.
this
Not
woman was
smell,
in the
but
crowd,
jeez.
and we have on video camera one of the Capitol policemen taking a stick and like shoving her back into the crowd to where she got trampled and murdered.
You are just complete, weak, useless pieces of crap of society, and you
It's very
need
frustrating.
you need to find something of worth to do with yourself.
It's very frustrating, bro. And then they get promoted. Absolutely crazy. So on this day of January 6th, I think it is very special that we make sure to remember the veteran Ashley Babbitt.
Yes.
Rest
Sorry,
in peace, man.
sorry that happened to you by a very incompetent, very tiny, third-membered person of the force that
Absolutely
thought
bonkers, bro.
their life was in danger. They obviously don't know what danger is
And I'm
at
sure
all.
people like the troll are like, she deserved it, man. Screw her, man. And it's just like, well, that's just like demonic to be
Well,
like,
get in line with the officer to get what you got coming.
absolutely bonkers.
If you believe that, you need to get in line. Oh yeah,
Hillary's getting wild.
yeah, dude. Did you see her get the medal? It was crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's a good edit.
Did anyone else notice Hillary Clinton's slip up yesterday during the ceremony where Biden awarded her the Medal of Freedom? Watch what happened. Why isn't the media talking about this? We need to wake up. This is so in our faces and no one's saying anything.
I love his commentary. You guys need to wake up. This is so in our faces. They're being so obvious. Yeah,
She's
we're not
straight
doing.
wicked witched and nobody's talking about it, bro. That's crazy.
That wasn't edited at all. 100% real. And that was what I was talking about earlier. Gavin Newsom last year made legislature that today went into effect of the no voter ID.
Yeah, that's crazy sauce, bro.
From our good friend of the show, Liberal Hive Mind. He's been out there working too. Congrats for you. Good job. Keep doing it. He's putting out like 4 videos a day.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
no,
of these days.
he's-
He's cranking
he's
them
solid.
out, and they're all good points. But yeah.
So there's the receipt.
Yep.
Absolutely crazy. Existing law permits the governing body of a city or district to request that the county render specified services to the city or districts regarding the conduct of an election. Bill would prohibit a local government from enacting or enforcing any charter provision, ordinance, or regulation requiring a person to present identification for the purpose of voting, for submitting a ballot at any polling place, vote center, other location where ballots are cast and submitted. Dude, that's absolutely brain dead.
Yep.
Well, like, dude, that's
I mean, not brain dead when you're trying to bring
it's just like the
free
election part, bro.
pre-bought votes into your swing
Yeah.
states and your blue states.
Just like when the presidential election was going down, bro, and they were trying to do this in places. Give me a positive, legitimate reason that you would try to make it where there's no voter verification. Give me a reason.
Yeah.
You cannot give me a reason other
We
than
as
cheating.
citizens have to get ID'd for anything and everything.
I can't think of a steel man on this, bro. There's no reason other than cheating.
Yeah, and all the people, all the talking people out there, they can't figure it out either. Only to be able to get votes because first
bonkers.
You don't want secure elections. So we want to be like Cambodia and all these other places that, they have dictators just voted in fraudulently. That's what we want.
Bonkers.
Oh, that's right. Because the left doesn't care as long as the person they want in wins. It doesn't matter what happens.
As long as
doesn't
things get
matter.
destroyed.
As long as they get what they want.
Which is like
They're
things being
again,
destroyed.
little
like,
freaking children that are wah. I am gonna do I don't care what it takes. Give me what I want because it's just me.
And so here we have it. We have the clip of the show. Good friend of the show, Mr. Tim Pool's got the clip for us here. This is the one that Wilkinson was definitely recommending that we all watch here today. Is Miss Kamala Harris telling us the official certification of Donald Trump is in.
Harris announced her own defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you a moment in history.
Delivered to the President of the Senate is as follows. The whole number of the electors appointed to vote for President of the United States is 538. Within that whole number, the majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
It is history, ladies and gentlemen. The first time a woman has presided over her own defeat. Incredible.
The whole number of electors appointed to vote for Vice President of the United States is 500.
And Vice President, good. But that's pretty epic, bro. That poor lady had to just certify her demise. No.
She didn't seem as sad as I would think she was.
Good on her not doing any snarky
Hey,
BS. Good on her, man.
I see it as they're pretty confident whatever plans they got cooking up.
That's what we're all worried about, right?
That's how I see it. Because no, there's no way they're giving up this easy. Not with how much
that's what
bullshit they shove down everybody's throat.
That's what everyone's worried about the terror events on the first. It's like, oh, is that some signal thing of like, oh, they're going to do
Dude, there's
crazy
just a whole
shit,
bunch
like,
of
oh.
crazy stuff happening.
Well,
Downtown Rockford had a bunch of stuff happen.
I didn't post it. I didn't post it for some reason, but there was a story of, I didn't corroborate the second half. So the Judge Merchan that's trying to put Trump in jail allegedly said, hey, or no, straight up, not allegedly, said he is going to sentence him before the inauguration on the 12th. And so if he sentences him, he'd actually be a felon. Right now, all of the news media that call him, oh, Donald Trump the felon, Donald Trump the felon, they're literally lying because he is not a felon yet.
Yeah.
But if he gives him a sentencing, he would be. So this merchant guy said, hey, I'm going to do the sentencing. And Trump, you can be here physically or not. You could just join in remotely, no big deal. But I'm going to give you this sentencing, okay? Then I just heard that the dude was allegedly put in jail for like coming up with this sentencing or something like that. So I was like, I gotta go corroborate that one, but didn't get around to it. So like somebody else above him was like, "Whoa, dude, no."
I suspect they said he was innocent.
Yeah, like they were like, "Yeah, no, dude, you're not gonna sentence Trump there, buddy." So I was like, "Whoa, I don't know about that one," but allegedly they stopped the guy from sentencing him. So 6 days, we'll find out.
Right.
So probably
yeah.
before next episode, we shall figure out the truth on that one. But one of the things is, if they were to put him in jail, which this was going to be sentencing without jail, but if they put him in jail and he misses the inauguration, does that mean he's not the president?
Be one day before the next cast.
Right. Right.
Do an early cast.
Oh no, multiple casts. So I don't know, man. Everybody on our side's terrified and like walking on pins and needles here. What are they gonna do?
I don't
Try and
know
stop
how
Donald Trump.
Anybody hasn't. Like he's not in office yet. I've been on pins and needles the whole time.
Right. Oh yeah, here's one of your favorite Congress ladies being a badass.
Yes.
Don't create laws. Congress does. This rule functions like a law that Congress never passed. ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. We don't trust the ATF because of their overreaching actions, exactly like we're seeing with this rule. Instead of providing regulations that keep our communities safe, this agency has made our communities more dangerous by laundering weapons to the cartels. Operation Fast and Furious exposed the recklessness of the ATF, how little regard they have for the rule of law, and Americans have had a hard time viewing these agencies and its rules as legitimate. Gun-free zones are the most dangerous places in our country. The Second Amendment is absolute, and it's here to stay. Bureaucrats don't create laws. Congress does. This rule functions like a law that Congress never passed. ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. We don't trust the ATF because of their overreaching actions, exactly like we're seeing with this rule. Instead of providing regulations that keep our communities safe, this agency has made our communities more dangerous by laundering weapons to the cartels. Operation Fast.
I'm gonna say this had to have repeated, or they're starting to repeat it again in their edit. But whoa, I haven't
somehow
heard
I made it
that.
halfway through the video
I
before I
haven't heard-
realized it was repeated.
I haven't heard that one. What? They're laundering weapons to. So you're telling me they are getting all these weapons for free because they just take them from us, and then they go, "Hey, who can we now sell these to?" Oh, well, cash is king. Who's got cash? The cartels, our friends.
Yeah, is it like a honeypot operation where they're like, "Oh, we're gonna catch the bad guys by selling the weapons"? Like,
Fred, you were supposed to sell them the weapons, get the money, but not give them the weapons. Oh, I thought we were just selling them the weapons. Yeah, my bad. I got the money, though.
all right, I guess we'll go home. But hey, man, amen. I like Lauren Boebert trying to pass some kind of a bill to lessen or remove the ATF. Like, hey, I'm not saying we shouldn't have regulations of alcohol, tobacco, firearms, but the ATF looks a little bit like that is a failed experiment. There, we need a fresh new one.
Especially because Elon made that thing where people could vote on who would be director of the ATF.
Yeah,
everybody's voting Brandon Herrera, but now apparently, have you seen the other guy that's supposedly going to be the director of the ATF?
No.
Oh, dude, just you can tell he don't know nothing about guns. He's super clean shaven, the absolute just poster boy political child look.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, it looks like Gavin Newsom's nephew that they got going in there. Nothing good, I bet, coming out of that.
Mention it. I can't think of one awesome gun bro that's clean shaven.
It's got a vibe to it. It's got a vibe to it.
It's got a vibe.
And you know why? It's for clear signaling between us males of that genre. Be like, do we trust that guy? He don't look like he likes the Second Amendment. Nope. Everybody knows you have to have some facial hair if you like the Second Amendment.
So I must have a lot of trust.
Yeah. But
I got a question for you, Dan. Could you give me the legitimate reason that the FBI would blur the man's face that set the alleged pipe bomb down at the January 6th debacle? Can you give me a good reason? And then also we're wondering, how did they do that? How did they blur the security tape footage? That means that it's clearly not the raw security tape footage. So here, let's
Smelly,
let's see if
smelly,
they- see if
smelly.
they got audio on this. Oh, it's just silly music. Yeah. 10 minutes before, can you even see the cleaning the lint out of his eye? Or cleaning the glint? Yeah, but yeah, this is alleged evidence that they completely edited the security tape of the J6 pipe bomber, which turned into a nothing burger. Man, this is still a mystery of mine. Of
That
all
dude's
the
got
things,
so many clothing identifiers right now.
of all the
And
things
they're
that
telling
they
me
shout
they
about,
can't, they couldn't find the trail where that guy disappeared off to with
Right.
all the surveillance films, but they found the United Health assassin eating a freaking hash brown miles and miles away. No. You all are smelly as cat food, catfish bait.
Yeah.
Oh, if y'all ever catfish know what I'm talking about, the stink
Y'all are
bait.
fishers.
That stink bait, yeah, he smells worse. The FBI smells worse than that. Absolutely ranking. Nope. Oh, whole bunch of bull crap.
That's crazy, bro. So this guy's alleging that the FBI not only nuked the frame rate on the camera, but they also blurred the guy's entire eyes so they could not ID him on biometrics.
I mean,
That's crazy.
I mean, when we remember some other tomfoolery in the cameras when we were trying to find out who this bomber was?
Right.
The one that just, for some reason, never has moved in years, and all of a sudden pans where it can't see that one spot so happens.
Yeah, super strange.
Dude, there's just so many coincidences, they just happen.
Can't believe that the media didn't freak out and there's not a gigantic, everybody knows about January 6th and how Trump's allegedly terrible.
Yeah. And
How was pipe bomber guy never a narrative, bro?
Speaking of editing,
It clearly was a dropped, they were like, scrap the plan. Don't talk
Yeah.
about that ever again.
yeah. Speaking of editing, do you still have the clip of Liberal Hive Mind that I posted on there from earlier? Because that actually has, I forgot, they have a clip at the end of it that's good. Where you can definitely tell it has to be edited. Or was it different? Go up to my
Did we not get to that one yet?
go just scroll up in the in the CNN. Yeah, so it's just in the end. CNN doing what they do best, editing clips.
This one?
Go more in the just after where it's playing right. Yeah. It's the interview with this farmer guy. Go back a little bit. All right, turn the volume.
People. And if you just turn on CNN, well, you see the Democrat angle in this debate.
South Dakota dairy farmer Greg Mose supports Donald Trump and his pick of his governor, Kristi Noem, to lead the Department of Homeland Security.
Are you worried if there were a mass roundup of undocumented migrants that you might lose workers? You may not have enough workers.
But how are they going to do that? Nobody will be filling the shelves. Nobody will be producing food. Within 2 days, we will not have food. There will not be food anywhere.
2 days?
Yes.
It sounds like you have a lot of faith that they're not going to do what they're saying.
That's pretty much what I'm thinking. We have to trust in our officials that are put in place.
They keep promoting this idea that
Did
Donald
you
Trump's
notice, though? That was definitely not exactly what was said after she asked that.
Mhm.
You can tell they edited it.
Right.
I want to see CNN the full interview with this guy, not edited, because I bet if anybody's bored, if I get time to do it, I want to find out if they even say this guy's name, because I want to find him on Facebook or his business, because he's obviously got a dairy farm up in there. I'm gonna get on the phone with this guy. Hey, you were the guy on the interview with CNN, and I bet he's pissed because I bet he was talking up Trump. And then if he's seen this, he's like, "You dirty mother."
Yeah.
Because they edited it to make it seem like, because not all that made sense.
Yeah.
In his rebuttal,
Right.
they just took the pieces that sounded good with her questions, edited it together. All of a sudden, ooh, it shows what we wanted. Because they went in there to get what they wanted, they didn't.
It's called
They got
selective.
turned down, and they're like, "Ha ha ha! You signed off on something, Mr. Farmer Man."
Yeah.
Or they didn't, and they just don't know what they get themselves into with this, and now he is seen as this guy. And I bet he's just like, heck no, these people paint me as one of those Kamala supporters, this and that, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
I mean, it could maybe make a little sense if, yeah,
So are
with
you
what
trying to
he
say
said
this guy
on theirs.
hires immigrants?
Because, like, there was maybe one guy. First off, I'm pretty sure he's, I don't know if they said Minnesota or Michigan dairy operation. I'm
Oh,
pretty
if he's
sure
in
it's somewhere
Minnesota.
up north. Dude, farmers. Find me a farmer that's a Kamala supporter, dude.
Right, bro.
Because there's very far and few, if any, I have met yet. I haven't met one.
Yeah. I
But-
met a farmer
'cause they
just,
know what
just
she-
over the holiday season. I was out for a dinner celebrating my father's birthday, and we were in the lounge having a cocktail, waiting for the table. Met a farmer. They were a Trump supporter.
Yeah. What's going to happen, because as farmers, they know, what did Trump do when he was in the president's seat in his first term? He looked out for our farmers a lot. He got them more money. He knew that was the king of keeping America going. We support a lot of our food. So guess what? Guess what has been happening to farming since then? Prices have went
Even worse, right?
the best money they were getting was when Trump was in office.
Yeah, 100%.
And so now,
that's everybody.
So now, what is Trump going to do? Oh, we're not going to have workers for this and that. Trump's going to put a bunch of money into agriculture. And then they will actually get paid decently for their product that they're outputting, which means you can hire Americans and pay them actually decent wages to go work the farms.
$15 minimum wage in Illinois this year now. Crazy. There goes our burgers.
I don't see minimum wage as like an important thing.
Oh no, it's
as long
terrible,
as
yeah.
there's just money floating in the economy with
Right.
good policy, it's going to go to everybody. It's going to get distributed.
And skills.
Yeah, because those companies that are paying their people less, guess what? What happens in the business world? Competition.
Yeah.
Guess what? Another business going to come along and just steal them right out from under you.
Yeah. If they had good skills and a business has money, they trade these things, and then you have production.
Yeah. So the nobody having food in 2 days, I guarantee, was not what they edited that up to be.
Yeah, right.
I want to see the full interview on that. Guaranteed, just like all, because what do they do with all of Trump's? Because we have seen those actual unedited clips and then see what they do to it. That's why I just have no trust as again, boy who cried wolf. You cried wolf too many times. We're way past that. I don't even hear you crying wolf
Yeah,
anymore.
we've-
I'm just guessing there is no wolf.
We covered one a couple weeks ago where the guy was getting interviewed, and then they totally chopped it up and everything. So he posted his recording of it.
Yeah.
And then they put them side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, maybe this guy will do that and I won't even have to contact.
Well, he's a farmer. He probably doesn't know how to work the editing computer
Well,
too
I
much.
mean, no, he probably does. The thing is, he won't have any time.
Yeah, right.
Because farmers are just constantly working. And why? Next time you meet a farmer, thank them almost like you would thank a military person for their service.
that's what I do.
I wouldn't say either one's more important. Let's not do any of that.
I
It's
do
just
that to-
they are big. You're alive. You eat. You eat 3 times a day. Yeah, thank that frickin' farmer. That's the only unless you're farming yourself, you need to be very thankful for them.
I do that
because they eat dicks trying to bring this food to the table. They don't make much money. They're working constantly. They don't get to binge watch Netflix like y'all do. It's a serious, hard, crappy job.
Yeah.
And y'all are just that's gonna look great on camera. Edit that clip up, boys. They're just gobbling food like goblins and just not giving a shit. Just paying money off to these OnlyFans girls and just you disgusting people with no ambition.
Yeah, good thing that
Weak
nobody watches our
men.
show like that. And they're all great, amazing people that already thank the farmers for their service.
Just gobbling up food like you.
So remember when Dan was mentioning AOC crying about January 6th? I think this was the interview that he was referring to,
Yep.
right?
I didn't think that I was just going to be killed. I thought other things were going to happen to me as well.
So what sounds like what you're telling me right now is that you didn't only think that you were going to die, you thought you were going to be raped.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I thought I was.
Watch her try to
And that you now
watch them both.
understand, having thought about it, is because of your experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I didn't
Like, she's just like, here, let me fill your words in for you. What? I hate interviews like that.
We're gonna
but
make a cinematic piece, okay, AOC? Just play along.
God bless, dude. That shit's painful. There were people upset about the election busting into the Capitol, so they're probably going to be rapers and murderers. Like,
Yeah.
dude.
Apparently I
Dude.
didn't. I didn't spell out all my stuff that well. I had some editing errors.
Dude. Oh, I thought that was on purpose.
Oh.
So you skeet the algorithm? Oh, that was the other one.
Just the one.
Yeah, no. See?
The other
it's
one.
easy. See? See?
When you got plenty of things to
See,
do,
it's
you don't
easy.
read it all the
It's
time. I was
easy.
gonna say
Yeah,
I
yeah.
learned from the best here.
Now you just gotta go. You go open up a new tab, and then you go.
But hey,
like,
at least my link took me to what the link was. What am I?
And then you go.
We're fun here.
And then you go. Which I just realized I'm like an admin, so I can just edit your post. Cool.
I was just about to say, oh look, you can edit my post
Wait a
too.
second.
Good. That works.
All right, yeah. And then you refresh, and then voila.
Voila. That's good.
Well, that's all I
Well,
got for you folks.
Guess that's probably about it.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. You got any last minuters in the old live chat over there?
Don't think so.
Wait, our mics were no good? What happened?
I'm not sure what.
Mr.
again,
Niltamir said our mics finally took a poo.
Yeah. If it's echoing again.
No, they're definitely not echoing. They are fixed on that. I think it's just hard to hear us if we don't talk directly into the microphone. So hopefully we were talking directly into the microphone.
Oh, I mean, I had it pretty close to my face, so hopefully.
Yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. I think we're good, man. I have to listen back to it and double check the audio. But thank you very much for hanging out with us, folks. Thank you for coming to the TrutherCast. Thank you very, very much. I would love to see you in the locals.mass-.com community. That's 3 S's in a row, 4 in the whole word if you're going to spell it out. But click on that link in the description box down below, locals.mass-.com, where you can join a like-minded, community that's semi-private and not, censored by the old deep state establishment, big tech kind of situation, where you can use it as a awesome fun box of mind bullets and find those receipts nice and easy for your discussions with your friends, family, and, debatable foes, right? So join us on over there. If you'd like to help keep the lights on and get a like-minded tech guy to help you out and cover your computer's protection, performance, and your tech support, click on that signup.toleratetech.com down below in the description box. And you always want to make sure that you, share the show, because then Dan says that
You may not be a hoe.
That's always
May
good.
not.
That's always good, folks. Don't be a hoe. Share that show.
You said fun box. Giggity.
Deet, 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 deet. And then, if you want to follow me over on X, it's at Mastache. Join us over there. Join the battle for truth and for information. We're in the information wars, they say.
Info at war.
Alex Jones tells me it's not even people. He tells me, folks, it's an information war. That's why he named his company InfoWars. It's a good name. It was pretty good branding. I like it.
I think it tells what he's trying to depict. Mm-hmm.
So make sure to, talk to us in the, communities there on the X. We got a Facebook page if you're a Facebooker. I didn't really post there this week. I didn't feel like clicking an extra button.
Yeah.
So join us there, talk through the week. Let us know what you think needs more awareness so we can help bring that realization. And we will see y'all next week, folks.
Woo,
woo. We got a 2. We got a 1. We got a all right.
All right, all right, all right.